Oh my God, I'm so cranky. I don't even know how to articulate how cranky I am right now.
How are ya?
How are ya? So of course, as always, I'm having mic issues. Now nobody else is having an issue except for me, and I just hear voices in my head. And
I do too, but that's okay.
Hey,
These medications will make it go away.
That's Apple's way of saying buy a new computer, Monique.
I just bought a new computer.
Yeah, that's how they get you.
And
right?
a new
Hulk,
mic.
Dennis, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And a new camera.
Yep.
And
Keep buying new
somehow,
stuff.
Hey, wait,
some way, I can't get this shit working.
But you know what? Your live nudes sign is coming through beautiful.
Oh, thank you. See, it's worth it.
It's worth it now. We can see it.
all worth it.
It's all so much better.
All right, greetings, everyone. Welcome to Sunday, August 6th. And tonight, so we were going to do a show, then we weren't going to do a show, then Bon was going to do a show with John, and then I told everybody else we weren't doing a show, and then Bon said, okay, I didn't realize you guys were actually already doing a show, or else I would have done a show, and they would have talked about Zos Rapin. But as it turns out, that's what we were doing our show about tonight. So
Zos Rapin.
Then I consolidated all the things together in one fell swoop.
And it's way too many clips.
No, it's
we'll
not.
See.
I know it is. I told you, play whatever you can. There's no reason you can't carry this over until tomorrow. But, you know, I have OCD like you do. You get out of control with finding stuff.
Yes. So if I snap at anyone, it's not your fault. I'm telling this to Xavier, Dennis, and John. Okay, so just deal with me, and that's all I can say. Yeah, all right, so here we are. And what we decided we're going to do tonight is the following. We're going to talk about Howard going live again with Zos Rapin, as we call him. We're going to talk about Fred doing summer school with Gary and Rashawn. We're going to talk about Gary and the WFAN debacle. And then we're going to do a nice little tribute to both Sinead O'Connor and Pee Wee Herman as they relate to the Stern Show. What?
What an odd combination if you really think about it.
So a virtual cornucopia of crap that we are going to do tonight for you guys.
I fell in love with Sinead O'Connor all over again when she said "I hate men" like 60 times during this interview. I was like, I couldn't stop rewinding it.
You're like, yes, tell me more. Say it again.
I hate men. Yes. I hate men. I don't hate men. I hate men. I hate men. Over and over again. I hate men.
All right. Well, I'm happy to be here with you guys. I'm sorry that we didn't do a show during the week. We just, sometimes you just can't get it together. That's it. That's all there is to it. Let's talk about
life gets in the way. You don't have to explain anything to these people.
I don't care. I'm not explaining anything.
Because we didn't do a show, I was able to go to Culver's and have Devil Foods frozen custard. It was
yum.
I'm gonna try Culver's when I get back down there. Yeah, I've seen it, but I've never been to one. Is it the ice cream?
Unhealthy.
That's what you get.
It's so unhealthy. It's just so perfect.
For me, it's been 7 hours and 15 days since.
All right, we're gonna get the show started. I'm not even gonna preamble. Not gonna talk about myself. You guys all suck, and that's all I have to say on the matter. So let's take a look at Zos Rapin. Here's the man of the hour, as shown by Beefus Stern. And, of course, in honor of him, I wore my, hold on. I wore my Zos Rapin sneakers.
Oh, wow. How did you do that? What are they,
Hmm.
what, how much were they, and how, you got them at the outlets?
No.
For 29. Like Ross did?
Jesus.
Ross got them at Riverhead outlets, Monique.
I did not get them at the outlets.
Wow.
But I know that if Zos got them aftermarket, that they were extremely expensive. I bought mine when they first came out, and they were $70. That's all. So
he overpaid for friggin' sneakers?
Real quick.
Yeah.
Is the chat working for you guys?
Yeah.
No.
It's very slow.
But
It's completely stopped on my...
Oh, there it is.
There it goes.
Yay.
Never mind. Good. Ignore me.
There goes Dennis saying Melissa Zapin. Okay, people may have been asking who that is behind Dennis.
Yes.
Yes.
Twin orbs of truth and
Legit
beauty.
jerk off to Melissa Zapin in Sex and the City. I really believe that at this point.
So she basically just makes pies now, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I love pies.
I love pie.
They're my favorite.
Does anybody remember what season she was on Sex and the City?
No.
If they went to L.A., right?
Is there a need to remember?
Well,
I don't
I
really
think it was
care.
a special episode. They went to L.A., I think.
She goes topless. I don't care.
So Zoss is your classic
Hampton's party boy, privileged, record executive, failing
record
up.
executive, exactly. He's your classic record exec. Oh, that
Hey,
reminds
Carlos.
me, John. I listened to an amazing podcast over the weekend, and I need to tell you about it right this second before I forget.
Okay.
It was called, and it has a little depinism in it, so it might be of interest to you. And it was called, hold on one second, let me find it really, really quickly. Sorry,
I
guys.
should thank Judy
fine.
Tenuta, Monique, for making his debut on our show yesterday. You get to hear the lovely pipes of Judy Tenuta for the
Indeed.
first time. Yeah.
Are those Mr. Judy Tenuta?
She missed her, Judy Tenuta.
So it's called Dragonfly, and it's about this guy named Brett Cantor who died under mysterious circumstances. He was murdered in his apartment, but he ran a club called Dragonfly, which was in direct competition with the Viper Room, and then the Viper Room opened, and everybody started going there, and it's about the drugs and the partying, and there's a nice little murder mystery.
Nice
mixed into it.
find.
So
Anthony Fox murder? The disappearing of Anthony Fox, the Viper Room co-owner? Is that what we're talking about?
oh, I think they get into some of that as well.
Okay.
Yes,
That
yes,
must
yes,
be what
yes.
they're talking about.
So,
He's a British club owner who disappeared, and they
Oh,
think
that
it could be
no.
to-
In the same time period, this guy also was murdered. So
Okay.
yes, it's all part and parcel to the same kind of animal.
Can't wait.
Is he okay?
He's not going to be okay. No, he's not going to be okay.
He's not going to be all right. It's not going to make it.
No, he's not going to make it.
He's not going to make it. Damn it.
Spoilers.
So
Damn.
where should we start? Should we start with Howard Live? Sure, why not?
Sure.
Let's go.
Well, explain the setup, Monique, with the setting and when it happened and crap. And
Well, let's do the opening and then we'll take it from there. Okay, here we go.
Situation anymore, and this isn't helping you have a wonderful life.
No, I won't leave the house. I don't like people. I'm afraid of them. I was a sensitive kid. We're breaking in. This is Howard, and I'm here with a Sirius XM executive. What's your title, Ross?
General Manager, SVP, West Coast Operations.
I'm breaking into my own channel live.
Yeah, babe.
great job getting that, because I didn't even tell you to just. I know it sounds innocuous, but that is important. The reductive, that's what we talk about. This executive cronyism that goes on in this community, that laugh says it all. That's like, oh, we just made up some stupid title to crowbar you into the infrastructure, and here you go. Here's, you had a brilliant conversation with Richie Wilson, who is the greatest Ross Zapin aficionado there is, about how he got brought into Sirius. That's how I knew Howard was a partner, because he made him an executive on the first day with nothing else. And when they had money to burn, he was able to call his shots and bring him in. It was you, Richie Wilson, and Stuttering John. It's the greatest conversation on Ross Zapin.
I forgot about that. I forgot about that conversation, actually.
He talked about him yelling at him at Scores, right? When
Yes.
Ross thought he owned Scores. It's a great conversation.
Well,
my
Ross is
God.
the epitome of entitled. I mean, so just look
Yes.
at this guy and then look up the word entitled, and this is that man. He
And-
gets to travel pretty much anywhere he wants to in the continental United States free. Even if it is music overseas, he gets to do that. He gets tickets for anything that is out there. That is
And then
possible.
companies go under, and he gets a golden parachute where he's paid for years and years and years without having to do anything, and then
That's
just keeps
amazing.
failing up, as the kids
So
say.
he is, in the words of History of the World, a professional bullshitter.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, it's literally what he is. He basically can bullshit his way into any situation
Yes.
and rise right up and just doing nothing.
Good job if you can get it. Seriously.
Exactly.
He looks like the head of the sorority or the fraternity that was toilet papering the lambda boys.
Oh yeah, he fits right in with like
Totally
the privileged
does.
frat.
He just has that look.
His first introduction to the Stern Show is he was Dice's manager. He
Really?
brought Dice. He booked Dice on the show. That's how Dice got on the show. he somehow knew Gary, brought him on the show, and then he would kind of nibble at the show here and there and bring people on. And
yeah, because he did such a wonderful job with that career.
But he was in the record business, right? I mean,
Yeah,
that's where he
after that.
started. Or
Dice had an album.
So after Dice, he went and worked for
Geffen.
Capital? Geffen?
What
He
record?
brings it up.
It was Geffen?
Yeah, he brings it up there, I think,
Christ.
right after that. What we just
I
played.
don't know. Let's see.
I did this once before, was having a dinner party. I thought it was a good idea. And I have Ross here, and Ross is, not only does he work at Sirius XM, but we were having dinner together with our wives.
Of course.
Hi, honey.
Yeah.
Take it.
That's Melissa. That's Ross's wife. And we were having dinner, and I said, come on down. We'll go on live. And the reason I think Ross would be interesting to people is because Ross is the biggest Bruce Springsteen fan in the world, right? I mean, how many live? I thought we get into this discussion, and I thought it'd be fun to have on the air.
Well over 100.
You've been over 100 shows.
Yes.
And where is the furthest you've gone?
Rome.
Nah, Piker.
Jesus Christ.
Wrong.
You know,
Ooh.
can't hate him more. Just can't hate him more.
But isn't it redundant? Do we have to say Jersey and Springsteen super fan anymore? Can we just assume that everybody from Jersey is a Springsteen super fan? Have you ever met anyone who's not? I haven't.
That's the funny thing about his conversation with Ross, as I started listening to it, is how all of a sudden Howard tries to insinuate himself into being a Springsteen super fan.
We all know how fake that is.
And what is up to like 5 years ago? He was absolutely destroying Gary for wasting time going to Springsteen concerts
We
with
have
Ross.
hours of footage, Dennis, of this.
With Ross.
Yeah. And so now he's like, and you know, he's asking Russ about his favorite songs, and then he's like, no, that's not the best song. No, you're wrong. You know, he knows everything now.
Right. And they don't know the meaning behind the lyrics. They don't even, to be that big a Springsteen fan, and he has no idea what the lyrics mean. He's never bothered to look up. I'm actually a Springsteen fan, but I'm allowed to be because I'm from Suffolk County, Long Island. It's more original to say that. And I know what the songs are about. I like him for all the right. I was the first one to say he was an underrated guitarist before Bruce said it. But I'm not going to brag about that. I don't sit here pretending that I am, and I don't know more than anybody else. But this, if you're from Jersey, it is redundant. We don't need you to say you're a Springsteen super fan. We got it.
You know
The
what?
whole state is.
Guys like him, Springsteen is their connection to the blue collar working man.
Fake. Right.
And they justify it because they can prove it because they still have the ticket stubs for their $1,000 seats up front. Yeah,
Free seats, my friend. Free seats.
Huh?
So wait, but the thing is,
well.
that trip to Rome, that was recent. So that was on Sirius's dime.
Yeah, that's the life
He
he lives.
flew to freaking Italy.
Yep.
Went and saw a concert that was, you damn well know, was a few grand for him to go to, just a concert, and he didn't pay a penny out of his pocket.
Can't
that's
play
the
an
part that's
instrument,
sickening.
can't sing a lick, can't identify a lyric, has no musical talent to speak of at all. And it's the best job in the music industry, or had.
Jesus.
It's official. This company's a Ponzi scheme, right?
Oh, absolutely, they are.
All they do is just
They
piss away
can't spend
money.
it fast enough.
They literally, it's like if you were on fire, you couldn't take your clothes off faster than they spend money.
It's true. It's
I mean,
true.
Honestly, I think we've all given up trying to figure out what the logic is behind anything they do.
Yeah. We got
There
nothing.
is no
Ponzi scheme.
logic. Don't try to do logic. It is
Jesus,
a Ponzi
man.
scheme. There is no
It's
logic in Ponzi schemes.
something, bro.
This is
Hey.
what you call blue collar blackface too, with Ross and Bruce.
I like that.
That's a really great way of putting it.
Thanks.
That's a great way of putting
Yes.
it.
You lose it if you don't use it.
That's
and
right.
Ross is going to use it. And
I mean,
that's
oh,
what he
yes,
does.
he will.
Ultimately, you can't blame someone for taking that. But once again, to what end what benefit is sending this cat over to
None.
Europe and spending all that?
'Cause he can.
No,
Because he can.
Well, Wydot says it great.
no,
over
I'm not
here.
saying he. I'm not saying he because he can. Like who was the guy said, yeah, this is a great idea.
Who greenlights it?
Yeah.
They just do.
Howard's a
Because-
partner.
they
That's who
just do.
greenlights. He got him hired in 2006. Immediately, he became an executive.
It's amazing. Whatever.
No, he didn't. He didn't hire him.
Yes,
Russ
he did.
was-
Howard forced Sirius to hire him as soon as he went to Sirius as an executive.
No.
Yes,
Didn't
that's
you
in the
listen to
conversation with you and Richie.
the conversation was Ross was actually at Sirius.
Howard
for
was hired, but he wasn't there yet. and
over
he
a
got
year. It
Ross
was
in,
over
yeah.
a year.
But he was already hired. That's how Ross got in because of Howard's
Yeah,
involvement.
Howard got hired by Sirius in end of 2004.
And
Yeah,
he
so-
got hired in 2002.
Ross was at Sirius
Oh,
before Howard,
2002?
but he got
Yeah,
him in.
December 2002 is when he was hired.
Interesting, but that's all interesting. It's the long game.
It's weird because look,
But they were already
usually,
friends.
Usually,
Yeah,
the way it
long
works,
game.
like I and a couple of friends got to fly the American Idol private jet from LA to Wyoming, right? But that's because under the pretense that we were going to shoot a pilot, you know. So there was an
Right.
actual reason on paper for us to do that, to use that plane. Where this, what, why? You know, it's just like why?
Because they can.
Because
Oh, I know because he can. He's obviously
money.
He can.
Because
Why
he
dot
can.
why dot 68 says it best. He's bored on third base and hit a triple. He doesn't know
Exactly.
with it.
No, more like he got hit by the pitch, homie.
It's-
Hey guys, so a couple of people are reporting that the chat is glitching a little bit. It's not on our end. Just so you know, I think that might be a YouTube thing. Okay, sorry for you. So let's continue chatting. You know, because they're just having such a great time, and Howard mentions this.
Wild.
All right, so here it is. Because, actually, I'm getting up early tomorrow, so I don't want to sit here with you all
Okay,
night.
yeah, okay.
No, I am. I'm getting up at...
What are you going to do? Walk?
4:45 a.m. I'm getting up.
Sunday.
No, tomorrow's
Saturday,
Saturday.
okay.
Because I'm...
Dance papers.
I found an old barn I want to photograph at sunrise.
Wow.
Because I want to paint it. But I want it with a sky that's, like, awesome.
Does it get any
Wait,
more
wait,
basic
wait,
bitch
What
pedestrian
did he
than
just
that?
say?
Yeah, so for those of you with closed captioning, you know already that what Howard was saying is that he's getting up tomorrow at 4:40 so he can go set his equipment up to take photos of a barn
And a
that he wants
sunset.
to paint.
Sunrise.
But he needs it to be at sunrise. Let me see what time sunrise is tomorrow, just
Probably
so that we're all
10
on the
after
same
5.
page. Please hold while I
That's when I'm
verify.
going to bed.
Yeah, exactly. When John is going to bed, sunrise tomorrow is at 5:58. It's almost 6
Oh, okay.
o'clock.
but he has to drive. You gotta remember, they knocked all the barns down. He's got to drive an hour to go get one.
No,
He's
well,
very
what
into
it's
this
not
barn
telling
thing.
you is, could you imagine being his team of drivers and getting the call? You've got to take Howard to a barn to paint a sunrise at
Well, no.
5:58.
Oh no, he has to set up. He's got to
gonna
be
Set
there
up,
at
but
like
whatever,
5:30.
whatever it is. But imagine getting that gig, driving him to a barn at 5.
Well,
If
wait,
ever
let me-
you
let
could
me-
drive by yourself, this would be it, right? Nobody's
So
on the
there's no
road. You're in the
COVID
Hamptons
where
where
he's
nobody
going?
is, but he ain't gonna do it.
So let's really actually. He's going to take a picto of it, and he's going to go and run it through Photoshop. Because honestly, you can look at, if you were a good painter, you can look at it at any time
Bro.
of
Yeah,
day
I know. I hope
and
it's
put.
fake.
You can put the sunrise behind it.
Yeah.
He has
'Cause
to
you know what the
sketch
colors
it from
are
the
supposed to be.
picture. It's he has to sketch from the picture.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to do that. Like he can't
No,
do it
he is-
organically.
No, he's not a real artist. That's just the point. He isn't, and he's going to run it through Photoshop, and he's going to call
Absolutely.
it, and he's going to call it a real picture.
Probably
even though
right,
it isn't.
Dennis. Probably right.
It's
Tony,
exactly
can I
what it's going to be.
Can I read this post by the great deviated septum in that thread? I tend to stand by this, and believe me, he's capturing my own.
That's a great
deviated septum.
sentence you just said.
Howard does nothing out of the kindness or appreciation for his fans. He has been told he isn't meeting his contract obligations for content shows and total hours, or he's going to do a show here and there every few weeks and angle for another week off or winter vacation solution. Ross Apin interviews do not equal a show to me. The Star effing Jamboree, sure. I might see that as equal to a show as a serious executive, but babbling for an hour about Springsteen with Ross Apin is not equal to a show. No way. I agree. Now, if you take the karaoke crap and you combine it with this, it almost equals a show. And I'm with that. He's angling for some weird day off in the middle of the year.
I
by
think
doing
that
this.
he feels
Thumbs
he
up.
feels like he got so much positive adulation from his friends, from his asshole buddies in the Hamptons, from people text. He probably got so much praise for doing the one thing he has spoken about doing for the last 12, 14 years, 15 years, and
almost
has
20.
never done, that he's like, cool, I could
Yeah.
I could literally, take a video of me taking a shit and people will listen to it. And he really feels like very, very superior. Like, how dare you think that this isn't amazing content? Listening to a coworker basically
so
talk.
Two things. First of all, check the private chat. That was done like a couple of minutes ago. So that was within 60 seconds of you mentioning this whole picture thing. That's how out of date Howard is. That can be created within a matter of seconds.
And it's so generic and cookie cutter that you could find that easily.
No,
right? I mean,
no, that was just created. I created that.
I know, but the idea
AI.
of that is so
With
cliche.
AI, that was created in 30 seconds. That's what
AI.
Howard's going to get up in the morning. You know, that
Yeah,
took
there
me
it is.
30 seconds
Done.
to create.
Done.
And the other thing,
Why don't you recreate it as a watercolor sketch and see how it looks?
okay,
Look
no
at
problem.
those tabs
Let me
open.
get to the other thing.
Oh, I know.
I think, and this is like X-Files conspiracy. I think that this second live show that he's did, it's a wig pro quo. He's starting to stack the cards so when he has to go back to work, he can say, "Look how great I'm doing from home."
Yeah,
You know?
well,
Yeah,
definitely.
I think that he's already working that angle.
By the way, that barn is where Emily stays when she comes to the house.
That farm, bro.
It's also where his sister stays when she's out.
Exactly. Ellen, you're right.
Literally,
That's even better,
literally.
Monique. Ellen's turn.
When the
Mo and I have been doing AI like gags
Oh
for
God,
about 4 days. We've
God,
created hundreds.
hundreds. Mostly my dog.
Like my AV is AI. That was just created in a matter of seconds. So it's just funny that I gotta get up and take pictures of a barn. Okay, bro. Yeah, you do that.
The other thing though, I think John is onto something here though. I think there is, besides him blowing smoke up his own ass, I think it is kind of an angle for a little less actual real work time.
You said that last
it
week,
counts
too,
as a
Dennis.
show.
Yeah,
And
he
he-
put
and
it
he's-
together.
But
in a
if it's
contract.
one day, does it matter?
It might. I mean, he can
It may
chip
be
away.
2 days.
Do
It may
two
be a
more of
week.
these.
He may do
right.
3
It'll be another week.
He
It
may
wouldn't
do
take
3
much.
Yeah, he only has to do 3 shows to take a week. Think about that for a
In
second.
the laziest possible way.
But
like
most
this.
of these shows are only about 40 minutes.
So
This was an hour and change, and the
Do
other
they
one was like an
count
hour
as
and
shows? Does it count?
Yeah.
As, I mean, they're
Yes.
promoting the shit out of it on Sirius too.
20. Yeah, no doubt
Well,
about
what
it.
else are they gonna promote? They literally got nothing.
they got nothing else.
They literally
you're
have
right.
nothing.
You're right.
As Deviated Septum said, he does nothing out of the kindness of his own heart for the fans. Zero. Those days.
Absolutely.
It never. I can't think of one.
All right, let's continue on. So thankfully, then John sent me this clip, which I had not heard during the show.
It's easy to miss.
The Springsteen is out of touch thing.
Yeah, and then he makes a comment at Howard like it's an insult, but it's
Okay, let's hear it. Here we go.
Ross
There
singing.
you go. Now you're singing. What do you think he's singing about? You have any clue?
Well, I've had these discussions before, and it's not fair to me to get into his head, and he might have talked to you. I don't think he could write a song like this again. I think he was. I don't think these.
He's too successful now to write a song like this?
I think the same thing with you too. I think these songwriters are in a different place in their
Right.
lives that I don't.
Yeah.
He's saying to Howard, "You're out of touch, and you don't put a good show on anymore." 'cause
Yeah,
you-
exactly.
Yeah.
You're at a place in your life where you don't really give a rat's ass about how anybody feels about you. Or what you're
But
doing.
Monique, he couched it in a compliment that you're just like Bruce and these tortured artists,
Yeah, he loves
and he
that.
gets to lump himself in with these people because it's
In
He
his
loves that.
60,000
Stroke
square
that
foot
ego.
mansion, he's a tortured man.
He is a
Tortured.
tortured man.
Tortured man.
So the only thing that was interesting that came out of Ross Zapin during that show to me is his discussion about Nirvana, and
that was weird.
it was weird, and a conversation that apparently he had with what's his
Kurt?
face?
Kurt Cobain.
Kurt No Brain.
Basically, his job was to take them around to the different radio stations to introduce the band to them when they were first like up and coming.
Early '90s, yeah.
Yeah, and so here's a little bit.
Wow.
It was-
and did you see Kurt Cobain change a lot as the
Yeah.
fame kind of broke?
I never forget. I was at a dinner. It was me, Kurt, John Silver, the manager, and Mark Cates, who's the A&R guy. We're at
Jew.
when they played Saturday Night. They used to stay at the Paramount Hotel on 46th and 7th, and there was a bar in the end on the corner. I will never forget sitting at that bar on like a Wednesday night, and Kurt ordering, he wanted a pizza and a chocolate cake. I didn't put everything together.
How dare he?
But I never forget, he said...
It's a worse diet than John Hine, yeah.
Well, and then he said, he's sitting there going, Courtney is a better songwriter than I am.
Whoa.
I'm like, oh, man, she's got you. And then...
So he goes
Oh,
on.
the
with
heroin, man. The heroin really fucks someone's brains up. Doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it did.
He met Courtney Thorne Smith. I had a greenback
Yeah,
to school,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You thought Ross's voice was annoying anyway. Ross with vocal fry is even worse.
Yeah, it's
Keep in mind, because I know Monique wants to talk. Kurt killed himself because he considered himself a sellout by hanging out with douchebags.
Yeah, I was thinking, right? Ross
Connect the
David is
dots.
Kurt's kryptonite. That's exactly
Connect
right.
the dots.
So let's continue on. And, here we go. No words need to be said for this.
No.
Anyway, listen, I got to go to bed. I'm going to be taking photographs in the morning of old barns.
I'll be going to the bathroom for my first piss and thinking about you going to take your pictures.
Yeah, you don't get up early, huh? It's not your thing?
I've been watching a report. His stories have been coming out how since COVID, people are going to eat dinner. Like people go at 5 o'clock now, and they're seeing.
You came over tonight at 6:15.
6:15.
I wanted to eat at 5. But Beth
I
told me
will tell you, I go to dinner now 6:30, 7 o'clock. I want to be home 8:30 at night.
That ain't the guy I know.
I know.
You were a wild man. I got wild stories about you.
I used to do what we call bang bang. I used to come to dinner with you, and you go, "Well, where's your next stop?" And I would go out afterwards.
Oh, crazy.
Kooky and crazy.
So I take it as you're drunk driving around the Hamptons, Russ. That's
Oh,
what
absolutely.
I heard. You're not stuck,
Him and
right?
Billy Joel.
Radio
JJ
Gaga, no,
crashed.
he has a home out there. So he lives not too far from Howard. I'd actually love to do that.
He had to be a big shot, didn't he?
Russ.
Courtney Thorne Smith in summer school. That's so brilliant, JJ Thrash. That's
Yeah,
so
she
perfect
was
for this.
amazing.
Mark Harmon.
Let's see
My
if we
favorite
have
Mark Harmon
something
movie.
on.
That was a good movie, man.
I like
Summer
this.
School with
It was.
Kirstie
It
Alley
was fun.
and the Bunnies. That's a good movie.
Oh, okay. Yes, maybe you're right. I forgot that he moved to L.A. So
Yeah, so he's on the
Right.
East Coast, right? He's.
right.
Please
they
tell me
used
he's not
to-
bi-coastal. Please. tell
He's
me.
on the other East Coast.
He may very well be. He may very well
By
be.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you. Hold on. I'm
Good
gonna
for
copy.
you.
Let's see. Let's see if he maybe summers out there because why not?
And once again, I challenge anybody to prove that Ross has actually produced anything that's worth a crap.
No, this address doesn't
mean, come
look
on.
like it makes sense.
I'll be glad to say I was wrong.
Hold on, I'm thinking.
Good. Good.
Didn't he
Seriously.
get Jared Fox moved out to L.A. with him? That's pretty.
Oh yeah, there you go.
is
brilliant
is he
move.
responsible for
That
John
worked out
Hine?
well.
No, I can't get his address right now. I'm gonna
Now
move on.
he's doing anonymous hand job apps
Okay,
over on Santa
so
Monica.
let's get to the I mean, this is how the conversation went the entire time. Howard asking him about Bruce, and then asking him what record would he like to close out, and finish the show with, and he wanted to do a Stones
Wow.
song, and so he kept
This is-
saying, Stones songs. He's like, it's a horrible song, like "Sympathy for the Devil" or
Yeah.
whatever it is,
This
because
is like the
because all Howard could talk about was some stupid song from the Stones, almost like Bat Dance. I'm trying
Yeah.
to remember what it was called. What was it? Do you remember, John?
I can't remember. I can't remember.
Candy
either.
Girl? No.
Something,
Yes, it was-
Was it Dennis? Did you listen
I
to
think
it?
it's Candy Girl because I think he's talked about that.
That's
it's
all.
bad.
I think that was a Bruce song, actually. Candy Girl.
Yeah, it is. That is
Oh.
a Springsteen song.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's-
yeah.
Well, I'm trying to think in a horrible way. He was harping on a really terrible Stones song.
And he started to play it and was like, "Ooh,
It's
Oh, it's a
dinosaur
song I never
rock
heard before.
chat with two basic bitches. It's the worst conversation you've ever heard.
Absolutely.
Nothing insightful. This
No.
is
it
the
is
worst.
horrible. This reminds me of like the Nickelodeon or Disney Junior when they would have like a little kid interview someone semi-famous where the questions are like, "What's your favorite song? What's your favorite
what's
color?"
your favorite
the-
color?"
Like
Chris
it's like
Farley show.
literally the most freaking ridiculous, faux pas questions you could ever ask.
Insipid.
Not that Ross is
Insipid.
anything worth a crap,
Listen, I'm sure Ross has lived a very full life. Honestly,
Oh,
I think
yes.
he's lived a very full life. I'm sure he's got
I'm sure he has, but
amazing
nobody
stories
cares.
to tell. but nobody cares. You know what? He's
cares.
that record executive guy. That's all he is. He's a dime a dozen record executive.
He gave that big chested wife of him a Blumpkin once. Who cares?
Yeah, and I'm sure he's banged a couple of successful women. I'm sure he's done things.
Sure,
but who cares? Who cares?
I'm sure
everybody has.
I'm sure Mandy
have
from
Magic
Facts
Snow.
of Life really enjoyed that.
Exactly.
I love the story about him giving out free tickets to Howard's birthday bash to try to fill the seats. And
That's
it's
right. Thank you for reminding us.
I love that. I wish, was it Richie Wilson that told that, or originally how we got that?
I think that bears repeating right now if somebody wants to tell that story.
It's really not a big. It's Howard's birthday bash. Because they were so weird with it, and they were trying to do this like velvet rope A-list thing. They were trying. They were embarrassed how few seats were filled, so they had to fill it up. And it's almost like the NFL rules, where they have to fill the stadium when the game's blacked out. So they had to bring people in off the street to fill the seats. Chuck Zito just shows up, and Ross is hiding because he's not invited into the thing, and Ross wouldn't look at him and see him.
And it bears mentioning that the reason why this is even douchier than what John just described is the fact they cold shoulder all the Howard TV people, all these people,
Artie,
who
Billy
had busted
West,
their,
Jackie,
to get Howard to where he is. They got a sorry, we're already sold out, and then it turns out the last minute they literally had nobody show up. So they're on the street literally giving hobos.
Well, because they thought it was so exclusive and they were giving away tickets to listeners, but they only wound up giving away like 10% of the tickets they were supposed to give away to listeners.
Overrating, and there was a huge snowstorm. The Super Bowl was happening.
Exactly, and they were like, we have to fill the seats.
Here's a little footnote in history that nobody remembers but me because I'm a weirdo. I remember when Mutt called in begging for,
I remember that
for tickets, and he was talking, and then he was trying to get to that point where he's going to ask for the tickets. It was so cringeworthy because this dude that ruined his website did all this stuff. He bent over backwards to appease the massa, and he still had to beg for tickets. And there was awkward pause, and he goes, "Of course, Mutt."
And then he axes Superfan Roundtable right in the same.
Yeah, so it's like it really is just like the level of hierarchy and of literally Lord of the Flies eating each other's kids type of crap that went down around this time is documentary worth.
I think a Mutt re-interview would be great, and I think you'd drill him on that.
I asked him a couple of months ago to come on, but he was having some personal issues. I have not broached the subject again, but
He's
can
still
go back
trying to get tickets to the birthday.
Pretty sure he would do it. Ed Rooney is saying that that Melendez guy said his wife swapped with Ross.
Oh wow!
Now apparently he said this on KC's show, but I feel like it's so weird. Like, I don't understand what's going on with, I mean, not that I care, but I don't understand what's going on with John. Like, this is like a weird last hurrah kind of thing he's doing. He would never talk about his wife in any sort of way that was adverse to his children or anything like that. And to actually make comment that your wife swapped with Russ Sapin and he swapped with Melissa. I don't know what he's trying to say there.
Good for him. Who cares?
Good for him is right, but why would you say that?
Oh wow, okay, cool. So you did a Brent. Good for you.
Why would they say that? I just don't understand. But
okay. What are we supposed to be impressed by that?
Well, I listen. You know what? I think there is a struggle for content with a lot of these people who used to be on the show that have no more show stuff to talk about.
Well, yeah, because their entire catalog has now been dumped. It's just been vomited out in like a 2-year span, and they are so bereft of any type of depth and any other subject that they have nothing else to bring.
At this point, like think about it honestly. When we first started listening to Howard on satellite, and we heard eventuality that he got rights to all his tapes, everybody was thinking in about 5 to 6 years he's going to pull it back and those tapes are going to ride into the sunset with him. Right. But now he has nothing because he's just screwed up his legacy so bad by this continuous selling out to the AGT, selling out to this and that, backstabbing your friends, all the people that got you to it. So now you can't play anything without having some sort of cringeworthy reflex,
that makes me...
feeling, because he burned his bridges with all these.
No, but
these
it's a
tapes.
lot of, but you know, you don't realize it until we get a clip that John sends us, and all of a sudden there's the N word all over the place,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
talking
on top
about
of that.
kikes. I mean, there's so much of that you forget that so much of his show was talking
But
like that.
Do you think he really would care if if it meant less work and more money for him at this point?
I'm not saying he cares. I'm saying that
Can't
Sirius
work
would
anymore.
never do it. It's
Okay.
a hostile work environment. You can't
That's
do
fair.
that anymore. So
Well,
That's fair.
You know,
a
here's
lot
the
of
other
those
thing,
clips are gone. What, babe?
Well, here's the other thing. Remember, with the last contract, it was a 5-year contract and then 7 years of his material afterwards.
Mm.
Then he re-signed. What happened to that payout for the 7 years afterwards? Because this is a new contract. This is all the
But isn't that
the
where
shuffle.
Sternthology is supposed to come from?
No. It was something different than Sternthology. It was because Sternthology was already happening. It was 7 years of using his content after he left, and he paid him for it. But
Well,
now
that's
it's
Right, you're right.
probably-
No. You're Dennis is completely right.
it's insane. What happened
Like,
to this though?
it's kind of way of them protecting their investment once he
Right.
retires, that they could still have
These things they
that
still have
content
that.
available for.
They probably kick that down the road.
They kick it down the road. Okay.
That's pretty much it. All right, I'm going to move on because we have a lot of
Okay.
stuff to get to.
Sure.
So here he is attempting once again to wrap up.
Well,
Anyway.
Hey,
It's time to go to sleep.
Yeah, I thought it'd be fun to pop on and say hi to everybody. I know everyone's enjoying this summer. We'll, of course, be back
Like you
live
care.
on the air as soon as, the end of August, right? Right after Labor
Day. Yes.
And
Can't wait.
Yeah, we can't. And I just was figured, well, let's go on the air. Let us finally shine.
If that's what we call it.
I didn't think you'd want to come on the air, dude. I was like,
I just want to see the studio, and next thing you know, hey, let's go on the air. And I thought you were just screwing around and thinking like, all right, I'm going to play radio with you, and we're just going to sit here and talk. And then I guess we've been sitting on the radio.
hey, Griff, thank you too.
Griff.
Griff is working the board for us.
Thank you.
What song should we end with? It doesn't have to be Bruce. What is the greatest rock song ever written?
Wow.
I'll let you choose a song to go out on. The other night, I went out on the Cult. She Sells Sanctuary. You ever meet those dudes? The Cult.
$1,000 a minute,
I like
folks.
them.
No.
For this band.
I meant a lot.
Shit
No, I
band.
meant
What's the greatest song? Like the first song you go to when you want to listen to music?
Stones.
What is it? It's like two old.
Okay. This I thought was
Where to start
interesting.
with that,
And
right?
yeah, this I thought was interesting. Here's Russ telling him how he feels about a group that we have talked about several times on this show that we have the exact same feelings about, and Howard is absolutely taken aback by it. Here we go.
It's like two old yentas trying to.
You know what I don't
Yes,
really
that's
love?
who you
You're
are.
going to hate me for this. You're going to hate me.
Who don't you love? Go ahead.
I appreciate what they've done for music.
Who? Who are you going to say?
The Beatles.
The Beatles. Holy fuck! Are you insane?
I don't love
You should not be in the music
But
business.
hold
the
on a second. I didn't say I didn't respect and appreciate everything they did for music.
Wow.
It's not my go-to
Oh, all right.
band.
Well, look, I'm
Well,
giving
being
you.
honest with you.
Why don't you go listen to an album called Revolver
I'm not
and realize
saying
it changed the world?
but that's
Shame.
hold on a second.
Shame on you.
I said to you,
That's sacrilege.
No. I said I'm not going to go sit down and that's not my go-to artist.
Norwegian
But you
Wood.
just said to me they changed the
Play. Let's see. Let me think. She Said. Play She Said from Revolver. Listen to this. Are you insane? Think about the times and what was going on.
So cute. So, Ross is probably in his late 50s or late
Right.
60s. Like, I think that Howard forgets that he's old. Like,
God,
I
Moni.
think
He
he forgets
Yeah,
that.
he's like 30 years older than
when
everybody else.
I forgot to, we always say this, when he did the karaoke contest, everybody there was at least 10, 15, 20 years younger than him.
Yeah.
I
Ross
think
is
closest
59.
age was Bon Jovi,
Oh, so
maybe.
Ross-
I'm talking about
yeah.
the karaoke contest.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's like Fallon and Drew Barrymore and Mary McCormick. Everyone's 20 years younger than him during that, and he thinks he has now successfully fooled you into thinking he's Generation X.
But then
He
he
is-
comes out and he talks about the Beatles who broke up 54. Was it 54 years ago?
Yeah,
It was
at
before
27
most
years
people were
old,
born.
Dennis.
Yeah.
It was the last time they were together.
And it's
54 years ago. Ross Zapin was not listening to the Beatles.
Russ was
growing
5.
Up.
Why should he?
Yeah.
Dick Fitzwell puts it well. The Beatles may have been great in their day, I guess, but they are boring as hell now.
It's
yes,
old
yes.
music.
Hey, listen,
It's
props
old
to
music.
whatever the Beatles did, but come on, man, they're not the best fucking band.
No, they're not. They're far from
And
it.
Dick Fitzwell, a lot of people like the Cult, and She Sells Sanctuary is
Yeah.
a great song. But the thing is, if you want to meet anybody from the Cult, all you have to do is do DoorDash, and odds are Ian will be the one dropping off your Whopper.
But the
Exactly.
fact is, you're allowed not to like them. You're allowed to say their music does not move your heart
No.
and soul and
Yeah,
spirit. You're allowed. That's the beauty
Listen,
of music.
somebody
I
of a
guess, is that it's
certain
arbitrary.
age would probably want to fight you on that because they're, you
But
know,
here's
and
the thing.
That's fine.
listen,
but
you can be 70 and fight for the Beatles. You can be 60 and fight for like Led Zeppelin or the Rolling Stones. You could be 50 and fight for like the Cure.
Right.
You could be 40 and fight for Nirvana. I mean, you know, it just goes down the road. You can fight for those as being what was important to you, but yeah, okay,
Yep.
okay, it's the Beatles, okay. Nobody listens to it anymore.
But also, we say this
I
all the
hate to
time.
say
That
it.
baby boomer
but-
generation of his era, they all like the same shit. It wasn't. You had no choice.
Because it was
They all
new
listened-
for
I know
them.
it's all new for them, but they had no options but that. They
No.
all are forced to like all the same shit.
That's
It's
like
not
saying
unique.
Run DMC is like the ultimate in rap music, even
Yeah.
though there's been like, you know, a huge body of work after that.
Resuscitated
So-
Aerosmith.
But
Yeah,
you know
so
what?
the-
Their arguments.
One at a
hold no
time.
water.
Sorry, Xavier. Dennis, go.
So, you know, the other part is, though, if you really think about it, when I was growing up, right, big band music was as old as this music is.
Right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
seriously,
I know,
this
Dennis.
is how screwed up it is.
Guns N' Roses now, Dennis. If you go back, that's like listening to big
It's-
band music, right?
No,
Are
it
you
was actually
saying-
that's like listening to doo-wop for me
Or
when I was a
doo-wop,
kid.
right? Like,
Are you
it's-
saying that Ray Nobel and his generation, Glenn Miller, weren't as hip as these guys? Is that what you're saying?
I think
But-
Monique, I think
but
Laundry
50
Room
years
says
later,
the
they
best
weren't.
in chat.
But here's the thing. Listen, I like the Beatles as much as anybody else does.
No.
But when people say, "Oh, they were the inspiration," you know, Little Richard was the
Yes.
inspiration. Like Muddy Waters was the inspiration. Even Fats Domino, for crying out loud. Bo Diddley. Those were the guys that inspired the Beatles and those guys. you
And the
know?
Rolling Stones.
Most
you
of the
can't say
English
the Beatles
bands
were
of that
were
time
this
stole
pinnacle
from them. Zeppelin,
moment because-
everybody did.
Yep.
Yeah.
They borrowed. And one thing about the Stones is the Stones, unlike the Beatles, will admit, yeah, we like these guys, and we just kind of cop the name Rolling Stones comes from a black musician song. Come on, man.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
great.
It's
Yeah.
like Laundry Room said, it's the safest answer in the world when someone says you're never
Yes.
going to be pushed back on it. It's the safest fucking thing to say.
Chubby checkers.
And that's why
there
it's
you
so
go.
boring.
Yeah. Agreed.
Lead belly, absolutely.
So what we're going to do from that, we're going to mix in some of the clips John has sent. So we're not really doing a cleaning out the computer per se. We're just going to keep going with the Ross thing for a couple of minutes and
Now you have the video, right?
and talk about some
Okay.
stuff. Okay, go.
No, this is this is the famous clip. Ross, Jason Kaplan, giving him a beat down about what Ross is, and really he encapsulates this better than anybody has in the history. I think Ross is still reeling from this roundhouse to this day.
I love it.
This is how the fans see him.
All right, here we go.
But I don't know if anyone's
I
seen
think
the
Ross has a
video.
lot of personality flaws. Like, he's very sensitive, and he has a big ego, and he thinks his shit doesn't stink, and he holds it.
Hold on. Look at the size of that thigh on John Hine. Like,
Oh my
Wait,
God.
what? That's a human leg.
That's a leg.
You know, it's interesting, Monique.
You know-
They blur out the people in the that walk by. That
He-
stupid.
oh, you
Yeah.
kidding?
You know,
Yeah.
John Hine better never be on a plane that goes down in the mountains, because I see the person they're going to roast.
Days like
He
chicken.
really will be jumping the shark.
All right, here we go.
Everything over everyone's head, like he's the Graham. Last time I get you Foo Fighters tickets, blah blah blah. Like he's like the Santa Claus of the office, and I think it's funny to poke holes in that persona. But I never had anything personal against Ross.
You just listed 5 things.
Well, listen, I have my own flaws too. I know them. Doesn't
What are
make
they?
myself.
What are your flaws?
I'm loud.
Right.
I have a horrible nasally voice.
Right.
I can definitely say go too far with either making fun of people or saying things where I shouldn't say things. Yeah, I got flaws.
What about in the office? What about your
All
professional
those things
life?
are things I do in the office. I'm loud in the office. I talk too much.
John Hine literally looks like he has a size 4 foot with like this gigantic like
mom jeans.
Even like Jerome
Sarah
Bettis was
calls
like, "Damn, dude."
Exactly.
I say things I probably shouldn't say sometimes. I mean, it happens. And I'm fat. I mean, I don't know. I got lots of flaws. You're very tan. I don't know how.
That's so great.
Yeah, man. How are you so tan?
Look at this. Look at how Steve.
Wow.
Are you hitting on the personal level or the professional level?
Professional. Listen, man, I love Ross. And I know he's very busy because every Thursday through Monday he can't find him because he's in the Bahamas or Miami. Why is everyone laughing? Everyone's laughing off, Mike.
Jason, you know what? If you didn't work in this environment, I don't think you'd have a job.
Well, I don't think you would either.
That is the Lexapro talking.
oh snap.
That's the greatest fight I think maybe in the history of this series here.
This I am
Damn.
I
Can you
love
play
it.
that little clip again? Can you go back like?
Well, there's
There.
more. There's more. We're
Okay,
gonna- Okay, here we go. Oh, oops.
Oh
Oopsie.
no.
Oops.
Nosy.
Oops, a daisy.
That's a part of his personality that I
Have you been
can't
hit in the
stand that he
face
loves.
before? Especially a paper.
Wait. Have you ever been punched out?
Punch in the face. I don't think I've been punched in the face. I've gotten in a fight before, but especially a paper tiger like Ross is somebody who
tiger.
is great because he has such an inflated ego and an arrogance about himself that anytime you could just needle that a little, it's like the greatest thing in the world. That's why, even though Tim was in the wrong yesterday, it was great fucking radio because oh no, it got under Ross's perfect fucking skin, and Tim is right. You are a ball buster, and Tim. I'm not defending what Tim did because I think that is wrong the way he took your picture in the meeting and just sent it out on an email without you knowing about it. But I mean, you know, he did have a point at some point. Yo, get over it, dude. I mean, really. Yeah. See, you're gonna be angry at Tim. You're taking the anger at Tim to me now because I put out one tweet yesterday saying I was enjoying the
before the
wrap-up
tweet.
show. What happened before the tweet?
I just told you.
Well, I missed it. Wait, you've been thinking this the whole time?
All
You're
your
just angry at
little
me?
bullshit. And
You
know
can't
what?
even keep an assistant, dude. This is what a horrible boss you are.
Wow.
Wow.
Damn.
He goes on with it.
That is beautiful. That is what the Howard
Look
Stern
at that
show used to
Lexapro
be.
crazy eyes he has. Look at his face.
Oh yeah. Wow.
It's like Al Montalero and Grimace had a kid.
Yeah, exactly. But not as slim or
That is,
sexy.
that is the face of someone who went back for one too many cream puffs at the buffet.
Gosh. You are so
Yes,
right, Lauren
Lauren.
Marie. Workplace is toxic. Everyone is so jealous and resentful.
That's
Absolutely.
the job, to be toxic.
Let's continue. I love this.
People are just leaving you in droves. What are you on, 2 assistants in 3 years now?
How fat are you?
285 pounds.
So every day I'm going to bring a scale next to you, and we're going to start weighing you every day.
See, you can't affect.
He's
No,
Jason.
as soon as you own it like
No.
that, right?
Yeah, he owns it, and
He
then
already said he's fat.
it diffuses anything that he's about to say. That's the way
You can't get angry when you're angry with people.
you treat.
No.
This is a perfect lesson in how to combat assholes.
Get in
to
front
their
of
face.
all your flaws before they
Get
come.
in front of it, admit it, move
Look
on.
at that.
And you
look
come
at
to my
those.
office and do attendance because you're sure that I don't show up for work.
I never said you didn't show
You're
up
more
for
than
work.
welcome to come to my office every day to see if I'm there. And there's going to be a scale there. And we're going to have the Jason show.
I ain't your boss.
And
I
we're
don't
going
care
to
where you work
watch
and don't
how
work.
fat you are every day. So you want to do that with me?
No.
You can take my attendance. You're sure I don't come? You're sure I'm not here Thursday through Monday?
No, Ross, I'm not your boss. I don't really
No,
care.
but you're acting like it. You're taking attendance
You
for
called me unprofessional, and we got in this long argument about who's the most unprofessional.
You're making.
Wow.
I love it.
I know.
that was
We're moving
great.
on.
Tries to take him
Jen's-
outside.
Jen's,
Third one's good. He tries to
Leckman.
take him outside.
Jen
ahead, say.
Sleckman, unbutton one more button, douchebag. I mean, seriously, guineas go, hey, you got a little too much chest hair showing there.
Yeah, the fact that he immediately goes to the whole body shaming.
Well, you had to think about it first. It's like, what can I say? What can I say? Well,
said
you're
lost
fat.
Yes, the fat thing is a
Well,
proof
you're
you lost
fat.
the argument.
So
It's
there.
like a easy, it's like bobbing for water, bro.
I am loving every moment of this. Here we go. Hopefully it'll play.
Yeah.
I had to transfer everything over to Brave, so
I tried to reduce the
that's
size.
okay.
So
It's all me.
The megabytes.
It's not you. It's all
Yeah,
me. I
I gotta-
promise. Promise.
Oh,
promise,
yeah, whatever.
promise.
Accusations that you can't back up.
well,
It's
you're
easy
right
for-
here. So say it. Are you not in Miami every other weekend?
No, I'm not in
Okay,
Miami every
well,
other
then there's
weekend.
your side of the story. Congratulations.
And we don't have to talk about my assistant, but she decided to leave, and it wasn't because she couldn't work with me. Okay?
Really?
Yeah, really.
Well, I don't listen. All I know is your assistant's leaving. Tim's got 2 assistants. They're multiplying. He can't get rid of them. You, the flock.
I wish I was sitting here with you. I really do. I really do.
Aw. Well, then quit, and then you could beat me up on the street if that's what you're looking
I'm
to do.
not beating you up.
Then what? Then what? If it's not about that.
You are.
You got nothing to
piece of
say.
work. Right.
We'll try to resolve this. We'll try to talk about Dave Navarro. Try and let some tension out of the room. You're listening to the wrap-up show on Howard.
I'm not going to touch you. Just come on. Take a walk. A guy who just called me an asshole for 8 years is telling me to take a walk with him in the air? Come on. You're the big guy behind the microphone. I'm not going to hit you. You're going to have Jim Trellis. Come take a walk. I'm afraid of you hitting me. I just don't want to have an argument with you off the air. We'll have the argument on the air. Raise my voice like I did. To the camera come? Just take a walk with me. I don't want to see I'm too fast. I promise you, I'm not going to yell and I'm not going to slam the door. Just take a walk with me. If you can sit there behind the microphone, you can give me the decency. I'll come to your office after the break. No, I'd like to talk to you right now. I have to interview someone that's been sitting there for 20 minutes because my assistant didn't want to work for me. So come over here, Mr. Big Shot. I'm serious. I'd like to talk to you. I'll talk to you in your office after the show. Or I'll talk to you on the air now. Because I'm in the middle of doing a radio show. You're behind the microphone, you Mr. Big Guy. I'll come talk to you in your office after the show. You Mr. Big Guy? I'll come talk to you in the office after the show. Talk to me right now. No, I don't want to talk to you. Why not? Because you're not yourself and you can't order me around. Talk behind a microphone, you can't talk to me. Please turn it off.
Hey, quick. Hey, to everybody here, what Beatles song best describes that argument? I have to go with for Ross's Ticket to Ride. Thank you.
Holy crap. That is gold.
Wow.
That's the end of it,
And
right? That's all we
props to
have.
Richie Wilson for letting the camera roll after they went to a break because they're in a commercial during that. So you don't get to hear that on the radio.
Oh,
That's
that
only
is-
on the
You know,
Howard
there's a
TV
director
version.
saying, "Do not stop shooting."
Yes.
Yeah, keep going,
Yeah.
keep going,
Space.
keep going. That
There's
is
a trick
delicious.
like when you're shooting something like that, and they tell you to stop it. You put the camera on your hip and you tilt the viewfinder up, so you're still rolling from your hip.
So they think
That's-
you're.
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
That's so funny what Jens Leckman says. He's about to do the move where you put the arm around the neck, angry into the hall with the whisper threats. That's exactly what he's trying to go into.
He really wanted to give him a "Do you know who I am?"
Yes,
scenario.
yes,
Yeah, he
yes.
And I'm sure it went to that. I'm sure it got there at some point because that was Ross being as
Napalm.
owned as somebody could possibly be on the air.
Yeah.
Really, I mean that's just the way it is.
Do you guys remember,
love
if
it.
I'm not mistaken, Ross was not on the air again for, I don't remember him coming on for a decade after that. He went and hid in his cubby hole and never, I hadn't
But
heard
he's a
him.
bitch.
Yeah, that was, you couldn't
He's a
get slapped
bitch,
around.
straight up. You know, he counts on people knowing that he can fire them. So that it's like with Howard. It's like they get this false sense of bravado.
But
when it's not
Jason
really
also
the other person
knows that
he's
Ross
not
is not the boss of him.
He's
And
not
yeah,
a boss,
exactly.
right?
knows he can't get fired.
But Ross counts on that. He counts on like, okay, I can fire you if you
Yeah, total intimidation, of
Well,
course.
he has
Exactly.
Howard's ears.
And so like when it came down to it, the Emperor had no clothes, and Jason just
owned him.
reamed him.
Yeah.
Owned him. Delicious.
exposes the assistants and shit. That's stuff you don't want on the air. That's crazy inside.
You keep on going through assistance. Yeah, that's not good.
Nobody wants to hear that. That's
God,
not
that
good
made
at
me
all.
so happy. That was
That's
absolutely
one of the best clips we've played all year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
is.
up there. That's up there.
Hey, thank you, John.
Yeah,
Thank you, John.
Yeah.
That
you're
was, that
welcome.
was
We've
wonderful
been
find.
trying to get to that for 5 years. We've been trying to do it, Jason.
But we
Perfect
found the
timing.
perfect opportunity.
Perfect
But
timing.
the video is better than the audio because most people don't know the video, and I think the video is better because
Because it
Yes.
shows. It
Yeah.
shows like the dead silence, the Ross trying so hard to think of a comeback. And you can't. You know,
No.
Jason's very, very quick on his feet. I mean,
Especially
we may
on the
all
Alexa
hate him,
Pro.
but he's but yeah.
Well, he doesn't have to be because Ross is a dimwit. You know, it doesn't really take
He
a
is
whole
kind of.
lot.
He's like almost like
to
a bimbo.
outmaneuver him.
falls fails upwards. I mean, that's just the way.
But
it's
also,
just-
too, when you're only no executive, you're not used to anybody pushing back against you. You are so punch drunk. You're like, whoa, no one talks to me like that. And you
100%
don't know how
correct.
to, you know what I mean, X? You just can't, you don't know how to respond because
and you
no
know
one's
that
ever-
Gary kisses his ass
Yes.
because
Yes.
Oh,
he
yeah,
knows where his
absolutely.
bread is buttered from
Well,
him.
yeah, Gary likes the free tickets. I mean, and
Yes. Well, who
the
doesn't,
other-
right? I mean,
the
you
other
can't
give
perks
that up.
that come along with it.
You're right, Coach.
Swagabooey.
Jason
I
MVP
got a
moment for
cold all of
sure.
a sudden.
For sure. I would
that's
love
a
to,
walk-off
Mike
home
White.
run, right, guys? If I were Jason, I would have quit the show right there. And just I hate
Rest on
using
my
this
laurels,
cliche- yes,
exactly.
Mic drop moment, as the kids say.
You're right,
And-
though. There are some great Jason fights. You're right.
Yeah.
And we should do a show dedicated Jason's fights.
Jason and Will, I
Yes.
think. Or
Oh,
Jason's
God,
fights.
do I love that. All right, let's get into something else before we get into Fred on the summer show, since we're talking about idiots on the Stern Show. Next would be Gary. So who wants to talk this one through so that the guys know what we're doing next here?
Oh, this is all right. Let John, because John blew my mind with this. He
Well,
blew my mind.
You got to
with
thank
this.
who started the thread the other day. Jesus Christ. So I'm going to get, I know we can bump it maybe. I want to give the guy credit because I did chime in and give him credit. Is it on the first page? Is it it's up there.
I'll look
Gary,
at it while you're talking. Just talk
Glorified
it through
karaoke. Glorified karaoke.
Glorified,
Got
yeah.
it. Yep.
Okay.
So glorified karaoke, who listens to WFAN still? I didn't think it was still on. Listens to in the summer they have their weird summer schedule. So Boomer Esiason, the old Bengals quarterback, teammate of has with guys Gio is his partner, and they did a show. So Boomer's on vacation, and he has a rotating host. And Al Dukes, who does that Al's Boring podcast, he had a great interview with Steve Langford, by the way, if you get a chance. It reveals a lot of dirt about Howard and the show and the Howard 100 News. He fills in and co-hosts. And so Gio goes on and says, well, I threw it around, and I asked people who wants to co-host. And I asked Gary Dell'Abate from the Stern Show. He's a big sports fan, supposedly, and he agreed to do it. And then he bailed
Okay, let's
on
hear.
me.
Let's hear. No, don't talk. Don't give away
right.
the whole clip. Let's.
Well, okay. People know that.
Well, you know, people don't know this. So here we go. So this is. So where'd you get this clip from?
So because of glorified karaoke, I do this. You think this is psychotic. I pretty much just because of the great YouTube TV now, you can DVR anything an unlimited amount.
Anything.
So I just DVR anything I think is relevant to us and I just in case we need it. And somehow I had this in case we needed it on my
delicious.
DVR.
All right. So it's 2 clips. Here we go.
That was in the era of nobody caring.
I mean, you go back and listen to some of the Billy West, Marge Schott stuff.
Oh, is this number 2?
This is one. This is the first one before they go into it. And they talk about what Howard gets away with on the air, and they talk about Billy West and Marge Schott and how this would never fly.
Yeah.
And then Al says,
on YouTube, on Howard. I mean, it'll blow your mind. Now, it's satire, what's going on. And he's pretending, Billy West is pretending to be racist Marge Schott. But the stuff that he's doing in that character, it will blow your mind.
Yeah, Howard
was on terrestrial radio.
It's so cute with these people a little bit younger than us who have no idea that this.
They have no idea.
He's
grew up with this.
Yeah, he's about 41.
No
this guy.
speech.
Yeah, we grew up with this.
Yep.
They don't even play that on reruns on his show anymore. They pretend that never happened.
Yeah, right. Of course. Well, radio
Well, that goes back to that. Of course, goes back to what we were just talking about how he, can't play a lot of those clips that he otherwise would have loved to.
And how crazy is it that WFAN is edgier than Howard Show now? And he has the way he said that. It's crazy, right? And that's a great little shot on WFAN. He pretends it doesn't exist.
As it needs to. I mean, honestly,
You can
you
do
can't
whatever
get.
he
I mean,
wants.
the Marge Schott Billy West stuff is some of the funniest things that have ever been
Greatest
done
thing ever
on that show.
Literally the greatest thing ever. And we live in
And
such a terrible
didn't
time.
Billy say that he did some of that while he was like in LA doing a riot or something like that? There's something I can't quite remember at this second, but he said he was like in a hotel. There's like the watch riots or something were going on, or something crazy was going on, and they had him do this, and he's just praying to God nobody can hear him.
That's delicious. All right, here we go.
Of course. Well, and by the way, speaking of Howard Stern, I did ask Gary Dell'Abate to fill in.
Oh, is that right?
This week. I did, because I know he's a big New York sports fan, big Mets fan, obviously could talk, knows radio. We all know that. But he said that Sirius shut him down. So like you were asking about Stugatz and how Meadowlark didn't shut him down. He's claiming Sirius shut him down.
Bullshit.
Which I guess I could believe, but at the same time, it's like, don't you think he's earned enough?
Yeah,
if he wanted to do this, he could.
I'm sure. My guess would be Howard didn't want him doing it. He didn't even ask, and then you just blame Sirius. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
That's how I'd play it.
It's like, wait a second, you're going to go on a morning show?
Yeah.
If we're playing reruns, that's weird.
Yep.
But like guys like Gary, they love radio so much and they love this radio station so much. They listen. Like that's like still all that he's accomplished would have been a really cool thing for him. So, I mean, he's what? He's 60s now, maybe? Gary?
Gary, yeah.
He's probably still like afraid to ask Howard if he could do it.
I would be. Absolutely.
which is crazy. All right, we
How
have a couple
amazing
calls.
is that?
That's a great clip. They did a really nice job on that. And Al's Boring Podcast did a great Steve Langford interview, and he doesn't hold back. And I think this Al Dukes is the producer of this show, if I'm not mistaken. I don't listen to FAN anymore. But there's so many ways you can go on this. Of course, Monique, you've had these conversations with Grillo and Richie Wilson all the time. They're not allowed to have their own friends without asking Howard. They're not allowed to hang out with people. So there's different rules for different people. And John Hine can do that horrible sports show on Sports Channel, but somehow Gary can't do this.
Why is that okay?
I don't know. Because
I tell you why. Wait,
Gary's a buffoon.
I can tell you why. It's TV. It's TV, and it's in the afternoon.
This is TV.
Well, this is also radio too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why.
Well, I think did we not find out that John Hine changed agents? So he went from Buchwald to another agent, and so maybe he put that into his thing that I'm allowed to do whatever I want, and I'm allowed to do TV, and they went along with it. Because they're not allowed to have their own friends.
Could be. You know what? He's exactly right. What he said is exactly correct. That Gary just used the excuse of Sirius, but knowing fully well that even if he would have asked, Howard probably would have been like, I don't know if that's a good idea.
No,
so he just assumed that that's what the conversation would have been.
Well, here's the thing.
Shame on him.
Most producers in like Rio Entertainment, when they fill out their time card, it says on call. It's not I clock in at 9 and check out at 7. It's if Gary was doing his real job as a producer, he wouldn't actually have time to do any of these things. But he doesn't. He's a joke. He's a buffoon. He doesn't really do anything other than be the butt of jokes.
Mm-hmm.
So in many ways, in many respects, as much as we hate Howard is right. And why is a dude that's supposed to be on call doing a job, why does he have time to go do this other shit?
Well, during the summer, I don't know what they're even doing. And
but I mean, in general,
there's no work being done.
And we all know the reality of the situation, you know?
Well, let me ask you a question. That's a morning show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's why.
Let's suppose it's a Tuesday morning. Gary should be working, right? So that would be Howard's mindset.
Doing what?
Doesn't matter.
You know what? It's we can have it both ways because we know nothing is really being done.
Of course
not.
not.
But at the same time, he has a job title where he's supposed to be doing something.
He's supposed to be doing something.
It's like it's like the conjoined twins. You know, one of them is facing Alabama, the other one's looking at Oregon. You know, it's like it's a mysterious world we live in.
He's actually not qualified to even do. He's a very
really
basic
isn't.
bitch New York sports fan. He likes the Jets, the Mets, and he does it in the Islanders. All the people that learn can't speak that language in long form. That's a 4-hour show. He can't.
He has the knowledge that a lot of us do. Is that what we know about what's going on in world sports is what we listen to on the way home. We listen to the radio.
Yeah,
that's it.
Typical.
He's not invested into anything deeper than that.
It's because Howard's such a relentless fruit basket that he looks like he might be knowledgeable about sports in comparison to Howard and the rest of them.
Yeah.
Oh my dear God.
See what I mean? There it is. There's Gary Delabate's career personified.
In a nutshell, right there.
Yeah. You know, one's dating this dude, the guy with the puffy shirt. The other one, you know, she's celibate.
Medieval times.
Actually, one likes Renfest. One does not.
Is it possible Gary thinks he should be paid for this appearance and they wouldn't do it?
But you know what? No, I think he just beat it to the punch by saying can't do it.
The easiest thing is to say no instead of
why it's a no.
But he has a job. He has a job that pays him well.
No, you're right. You're right. I didn't think of it.
So as weird as it sounds, Howard's kind of right.
But as Gio said, he's 60. He's 62.
Yeah, I mean,
who gives a shit?
How much more?
Who gives a shit? Do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want.
How much time we have?
Yeah.
Who cares? Let's call their bluff. Do it. See what they do.
What's the saying? Ask permission, beg forgiveness.
Yes.
Right?
Don't ask for permission, beg for forgiveness.
Yes.
Yeah. So just do it. And what's he going to do? Fire you?
That's right.
Do you need more money? Do you need to have this job?
I think he does.
No, I don't think he does. Yeah, that's it.
Kids are,
He
spend
a lot of money on those kids.
Well, one is out. I mean, completely. He lives in L.A. The other one
is
hot house is in Germany.
He's in Germany.
Hot house.
Hot house.
Did we show that picture of those two idiots at the airport? sending off.
There's two idiots.
No.
It was
Sending
on our
their
site.
son
I don't know
off.
if we've actually covered it here.
Wait, we didn't? Okay. hold
No,
on.
I don't think we did because
okay,
that is always.
Yeah. Well, just go to his son's Instagram.
Oh, is that where it
House.
is?
Is it
Yeah,
houses?
yes, ma'am. I forget which one he is. It's not Jackson, right? It's the other one. Lucas.
It's
Lucas.
I
You know, one's set to private, the other one isn't. Okay, just like the conjoined twins.
Like conjoined twins.
One's Instagram is private, the other one's got 10,000 followers.
Let's see.
Benjamin says
where
it's
is
Lucas.
it?
Lucas.
He
Okay.
lives on the second floor.
Exactly.
Dennis,
You know,
if
you've
you
seen
can
him
find
before.
it, that would be awesome. If you can find it, I can't do the search. I can't walk, chew gum, and
Don't worry about
do
it.
this at the same time.
It's,
But if you find it, throw it up for us, Den. Okay.
all right, let me.
Yes, I think you've seen him before.
So let's go to Fred.
And
let's,
one last thing, Monica, we know that no one on that show, they're all air whores and they're all attention whores and they want to do every podcast there is and they're not allowed. Shuli revealed that when he left the show.
Oh, I have to switch.
You know
You
the
were
air
on there.
whores they are on
I
the show.
forgot Shuli existed.
Yeah.
Who?
Who? What?
Exactly.
Who we talking about?
All right. So now we're going to
Sounds
go to Fred.
Jewish to me.
Sorry,
I don't
John
know.
Meyer. Sorry if it was
Fred.
Luca.
Fred was on the summer show day before yesterday.
Tuesday?
Where are we? Sunday. Jesus, Tuesday.
He was on Tuesday, I believe.
He's done
And,
5 days ago. No big deal.
And he was as boring as you would have
Oh.
thought
Actually,
he would be.
G Canada brings something up when it says a huge mortgage. Like about a decade ago, something weird happened when someone pointed out on one of the forums that Gary signed his house over
To his wife.
For like $100 or something like that. It was something really weird. Someone looked up some record and there's been a transfer of the deed of the house and Gary's name was no longer on it, but his wife was.
Yeah.
And I think, you know what?
But they sold that house. So
Yeah, they definitely sold that house. He bought the property for $1 million and he built the property with the famous bar stools at the on the
That's
home
right.
theater.
But now I think
But
they're
it's
just
just
renting
kinda,
in Connecticut,
it's
looking
weird.
for a place in Vermont or Maine or something like that.
And I think, and this is once again, X-Files, take this with a grain of salt. All this happened around the same time when accusations were being made that Gary was visiting a talent agent on the West Coast.
Yes.
So, I mean, coincidence? Probably. But nonetheless.
Buy a house and stick with you. Fucking a Delphi graduate, to quote Tracy Millman. Buy a house and stick with it. I'm tired of real estate a buoy. Get a house and stick to it. I'm tired of conjecturing what state he's in New England.
They all got a heads up that now's the time to sell. You know, Howard is not coming back to the office. We can basically move wherever we want to be and still be able to be on the air. You know, the market is scalding hot. Let's take advantage of it. In what
there's
other
something to that,
world would Ronnie get as much money as he did for that little
thing.
shithole in Queens? In what world?
G Canada, Mr. Whiskers had a hot item as far as a certain ape-like producer was visiting the West Coast and visiting extra time with a talent agent while pretending to visit his son who works at Netflix.
Yeah, that was a while ago. That was one of our good ones. The cat has never been wrong, just so you know. The cat has never been wrong. Okay, so Fred goes on the show, and let's find out what Fred's been up to, shall we? Here we go. Oh, my God. Before I forget,
Yes.
Dennis, can you please bring up, if it's still around, whether it's on our site, RadioGunk.com, or on Instagram of Ronnie and his child bride going for their wedding rings.
Oh my God. Okay.
It was just worth it. Okay.
It
So
is
here we go.
worth it.
Here, let's go to Fred and we'll take it from there.
Very embarrassed as a result.
Okay, so now we move into like modern technology and we get this machine. It's called an instant replay. It's digital. It's much quicker to get to things. So the question becomes, now that you're using that, how do you know where everything is so quickly?
Again, it's one of these things where,
Oh my God.
you know, they all went in at a certain time.
Just kidding. That's from 2022. They're all the same.
Yeah,
the
you got the one I sent
entirety
you.
of the clips are all the same.
So you did listen to the 22 one I sent you?
That's from 2022.
Okay, so it's
They're
you
all
matched them
the
up.
same.
Yeah,
it's
good
all
job.
boring.
Yep.
Just
Fred is like a field goal kicker on this show. Your one job to play sound effects. It's not impressive that he can do it. Bon Jovial has proven he could do it in his sleep better than Fred can. He never updates it, and he the same compliments over and over again.
I think you know what? Let me correct you, John. He's more like the long snapper, bro.
If that, right? That's even
the guy
better.
that's been on the
snapper.
team for like 30 years.
Yes.
All he has is one skill.
Even better,
All right.
long snapper.
Let's listen to Fred from this year, shall we? And this is what Fred's been doing on his summer vacation. Oh, here's how he starts it. So you know it's going to be going terribly, terribly wrong after this. Hang on.
Nice
How you
to see
been, man?
Guys.
It's good to see you.
I'm doing good. I'm doing better than most people. But you know, we should all do a prayer before we start this. What is it?
Oh my God.
Baruch Havaznoi Baruch Adonai Varum Avayed Baruch Atoy Noi Eloheinu Melech Halam Ashir. I think we're blessed.
Jesus.
What?
That was
did
Ronnie
he just have a
trying to do
stroke?
What
the
the
Gilbert
hell
thing.
was that?
I think
That
it's
was
no toast.
Ronnie trying to do his
Gilbert Jewish thing.
his
Oh,
bar mitzvah.
fuck.
Yeah.
I kept on sniffing. I was hoping I wouldn't smell burnt toast, bro.
This is how
I
Fred
thought
is starting.
something was going on.
So, what is Fred doing over the summer vacation, you may ask? He's taking defensive driving courses because apparently he was doing 65 and a 35 and got 4 points on his. And this is not the first time it's happened to him.
This
so
is out east, Monique?
Yes, and you can almost see him angry driving, like pretty
I
much
could see
everywhere
him
he
doing
goes.
that. Oh
What
my
does
God.
he
yes.
have to be angry over?
Everything. He's just an angry man. Here we go.
We're talking
Fred.
gibberish, Rasad. I apologize.
Fred, what's the summer been like for you?
Well, I've been taking a defensive driver course because I just want to keep my insurance rates down. And I took the defensive driver's course about 4 years ago because I'd had a ticket. And I thought that the ticket was going to be reduced in points, and it wasn't. But I did find out what happens is that they give you more points. It's almost like they're giving you credit. So if you lose your license, for example, for 8 points, they extend it up. You can get up to 11 or 12 before they finally yank your ticket.
Summer school, everybody. Fred is on the air. This
Good
is
stuff.
what you get to listen
Subscribe
to.
to Sirius.
amazing.
That should
Oh
bring
my
in the listeners.
God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, so a lot of what you're going to hear basically is about Fred's process. I know Johnny Mayer.
What process?
Is riveting.
Is
This is so hard to get through. Honestly, it was just.
And then you
Just
gotta make seven
quick
figures,
question.
and he's worried about $1,500 in insurance a
Quick,
year.
quick question though. Is this going to affect the touring days for King Norris?
Did they come up at all, Monique, in the second interview, King Norris?
No, not really. No, I know it was in the 2022 one, but no, not here. Let's go to Fred's process because that's always in. Oh, should we interrupt with this?
Is this what it is? Because I'm trying to. Is this it? This freaky,
Yeah, that's-
this
look at that.
freaky
Look at her
picture.
face.
I mean,
There's
I mean-
video with it. If you scroll to the
Oh, I
right.
don't know
I'm not
if I
sure if
want-
that's a clip or what it is.
there's supposed to be video in here.
Is that it? No.
I
Is
hate
this
seeing
it?
you sing.
No,
No,
all
it's
right, we'll come
passing
back.
out.
We'll come back.
Okay.
You find it. We'll come back to that. Okay. So let's go to Fred's process. It's a kind of long clip, but this just gets you to where and not as if we haven't talked about this 5,000 times already. Here we go.
My question is, give me like that process. I'm 10 seconds into the story and I have 5 seconds left to tell it. And the process of you thinking of that and finding that, how? That's a question. How?
How do they do that? I don't really know because someone else was asking me a question. It's like when a laugh situation comes up, is it going to be Jackie? Is it going to be Gilbert? Okay.
Okay.
Notice he doesn't play Jackie, just Gilbert. This is so weird. And it keeps going.
Or is it going to be OJ? whatever the mood I'm in.
Wow.
That's really what it comes down to. Or there might be little markers in the conversation that kind of guide me there, or it just seems like it might be the logical laugh.
Dude, you play clips. Like,
even better,
real.
Mo. Even
drops.
better.
He plays drops.
We've done every show this year, and there are days that go by where we don't hear one
almost
single...
weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. 100%.
We had
so
nothing.
It's funny that he's bragging about being so spontaneous and so quick. You know, this master of the sound effect. Dude, there are days, weeks that go by where you are nowhere to be found.
Wait a minute.
Months.
These shows, the Miami shows, he was nowhere to be found. He was not even on the air. He was nowhere.
Nothing.
No, I mean, it gets so much more tedious, guys.
I think I found it.
Moment.
Well, I had another theory, and we were talking about this before the show. I couldn't figure out how to bring it up. So you walked me right into it. I think that sometimes on the show we have, people get mad at each other, people have arguments. You tend to stay away from arguments, but I feel like sometimes you can use your sound effects as a tool to fuck with people. And for me, the perfect example.
That's what it says on my resume, by the way.
No.
I
remember this very vividly, and it always made me laugh. Robin would do a news story. Would get so mad. It would get so angry. You could always get him back that way.
I could always, but it was never done with any sort of malicious intent. It was really done like, look, he used to love fucking with people. I mean, how many teeth jokes would he write about you? How many nose jokes would he write about Howard? How many breast jokes would he write about Robin? So it's like, hey, you get your turn in the barrel joke, man. It's like, here's a joke. Deal with it.
Wow. Like Fred is like thick skin. Like he doesn't flip out over the slightest thing.
Both Robin and Fred would go after Jackie on their one time on the air during the summer.
What are the odds that Fred doesn't know that Robin doesn't do the news anymore?
No, he doesn't know.
Because he threw that out like that just happened like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, no.
Like,
and I like how I like how he says, "I don't do it out of anger." The most angry person on the show by miles.
Absolutely.
Does things out
Everything
of anger.
he does out of anger.
That's like watching that's like watching Shaq on the NBC on the NBA show that he does and going, "Oh yeah, I haven't missed a free throw in a week."
Yeah, exactly. All right, here's a little lathering.
It's been a while, bro.
Here's a little lathering. Okay. Here we go.
There was actually an amazing moment. It was
amazing.
It was in the last year or two.
Amazing.
Where Howard was like deep, like he was moving, he was grooving, and you played something, and Howard stopped in his tracks, and he goes, "Wow, Fred, that was a good one." It was such a good joke. You stopped him in his thought.
Well, that's like interrupting the Super Bowl for somebody to wave at somebody in the audience. So it's a good thing.
It's like the Super Bowl.
It wasn't even the Hall of Fame Bowl, bro.
That you literally got Howard's attention with your drop.
The show is no longer even the freaking Hall of Fame Bowl.
This is like the church's chicken friggin' the Memphis Bowl that's played December 8th. I mean,
exactly.
It's really
the Culver's ice cream ball.
Exactly.
how douchey Fred is, and that he thinks so highly of himself as a skill. Like, dude, you push buttons. Sal did it for a week, and by the end of the week, he was as good or better than you.
Look at what Bon Jovial does on here.
You're not Oppenheimer, bro. You're not doing a plutonium freaking whatever.
Yeah.
You're not splitting the atom there, dude.
He actually said that on the show. He's like, Oppenheimer was brilliant. What I do is it's just my job.
So arrogant.
Once again, there are weeks we don't even hear you.
Yeah,
weeks. How pivotal, how important can you be to a show where you don't show up for weeks and nobody even knows?
Nobody would know.
There was actually like a week in February where he was gone. Like he never said a word. We heard nothing. He was not on the air. I remember that too.
And we all took note of it. It's like, where's Fred?
At this point, Fred, you are the dude with the red stapler in Office Space.
Exactly.
Moving you to a lower level.
That's Scott the engineer.
Yeah.
No. Fred is.
No, Fred is, bro.
At least Scott was
yeah, but he gets that paycheck and he gets respect he doesn't deserve. That guy gets no respect. Fred gets this weird ass kissing too, which infuriates me.
Oh God, they love him. Okay, so this is horrible. This is the last clip I have of Fred. Okay. But this is really, it's just a 1 minute and 24 seconds of such awfulness. So they kind of led him into this because they think that he does an amazing Gary puppet. And so it's as horrible as you might think it would be. And this is Fred just riffing, I guess. Here.
I saw the picture, but Gary Puppet, what did you and John Hine do in Gary Puppet, what did you and John Hine do in Montreal? Did you guys have some poutine?
What we did was, well, first of all, I had chocolate and he had McDonald's. And we sat on the mattress and we talked about all our favorite shows. We talked about the time that we went to the Brady Bunch house. That was a great experience. And then we walked around town trying to speak French. Hey, parlez-vous, ha-ha, comedy festival, por favor. Oh. No, wait, that's not right. That's not right at all. And then we had a discussion. We shared a room. And in the middle of the night, we were talking about all the rock acts that we were going to ban from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and that we would never let in. One of the acts, of course, is Jethro Tull. I don't give a shit if he wrote Aqualung. You're not getting in on my watch. And of course...
Oh, my God.
And of course, Thin Lizzy. Never, ever, 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 ever will Thin Lizzy get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't care if they invented twin guitar leads on a thing that inspired Def Leppard and Metallica. I don't care if he was the only black Irishman that ever fronted a band in Ireland. I don't care.
Holy Christ.
Bro, he was 1 second away from a Charlie Dore reference.
Yeah. Him and Fred, Rasan and Fred too. I haven't seen chemistry that bad since Whitney Houston and Kevin Costner in The Bodyguard. Listen, they really jive together.
That would be okay if he was on a free podcast, but the dude's making what?
Seven figures? Yes.
7 figures for that talent.
And that's the best he's got. And they're fake laughing all the way. And...
Shouldn't he ring a bell when he's going to start telling jokes? Because we really should know. Because
I really, my sphincter is puckering from cringe. There's just nothing that you can say to make that funny.
My IQ just dropped.
But you know what, though? You know what? This just kind of, we always wondered about the Stuttering John questions to celebrities. And it was always Fred and Jackie that wrote those questions. Now we know who really wrote the freaking questions.
Jackie wrote those questions.
Jackie will always tell you
that Fred.
was him. Yeah, it wasn't Fred.
But it was Jackie who wrote them.
Even worse, now you have Sour Shoes doing a spot on the best Gary Dell'Abate impression in the so great that he fooled Jackie with Monique and Grillo. And we have nobody wants to hear Fred or Howard do this horrible impression again. It doesn't work. It's done. It's gone. I only want to hear Sour Shoes do Gary. That's all I want to hear.
That's all I want to hear. Radio Gaga is saying, check out Beth's Instagram today. She named an orange kitten Lars. Then lo and behold, Lars' wife is holding it in a post later that day. Shocked Howard didn't go live with Lars. Hey, only one show per week, okay? This is all you get.
You know, after Metallica sued their fans and were outside the Armani store, we don't really...
Yeah, the hell with them. They can all
Armani imprisoning me.
Suck it. I could care less.
So, okay, we're gonna do a little Fred now since we're on a Fred tangent. And
here it is. Okay, let me get ready and play it.
Oh wait, sorry, we're going back to the beautiful moment.
This is disturbing.
Yeah, here we go.
You guys
Monique,
ready?
one thing. Hey, Lars, I just downloaded one from Metallica on BitTorrent just now. Take that, Lars.
Horrible song.
All right,
okay,
go.
Are we ready?
10 times.
Yeah, let's go. Oh, what a beautiful sight. Oh, that music might be copyrighted. We don't know. We don't know.
Stop. Can we
Hold
mute
on.
this?
Can I mute this?
Yes, there should be a mute.
No, there's no mute.
For the love of God.
Why would they put that music on there?
Oh, it's a beautiful night.
I can't play it.
All right. Well, suffice it to say, she's trying on all sorts of diamonds, and I'm sure that Steven Singer gave it to them.
Eyes?
No, we cannot.
No one can.
Yeah, we can't. Sorry, Den. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Wait. What if we just mute Dennis for a second?
Oh, if I mute myself, would it not play?
Yeah, mute it for a second, then just press play. See if it.
Go.
Press play. Someone
press play.
Who's playing?
Dennis, anytime. Press play.
Mute Dennis.
Now.
Okay.
Oh wait, I can mute that. Okay, do it.
Perfect.
There we go. I can mute the audio on that. There they are. There's the happy couple. Bye, everybody. Yeah.
Does Steven Singer really think he's going to get some...
It almost wasn't worth the...
Yeah, why what was the big deal about that?
I don't know.
If those crazy kids can't make it, no one can.
Right? Yeah, it was just a promo for them and an advertisement from Ronnie because I'm sure he got a discount.
Although he did the very rare get measured for a ring and a coffin in the same day.
Oh, man.
Oh. And I see that Steven Singer keeps his store very cold.
Yes.
You're such a titty guy. Okay.
Yes, I am.
He was looking at Ronnie's.
And it was Ronnie, actually.
So give me what we've got going on here.
So we're supposed to play this. So this is
We're going to continue with Fred because
so this is the bowling thing we've been I think it was Uncle Larry that told me where this was. So I went and found the video version of this. So this is the guys' night out. Artie is off the show. This is the summer of 2010. He invites people from the show on, and Fred is now induces the bowling alley. And instead they went out bowling, and he brings it up over and over again. And Fred has his marching orders like the good lapdog he is, but he brings up the bowling alley here in the strangest way. But I want you to look at Howard's face when he gives him that. You better euphemize this. Wink, wink, wink. We didn't go out bowling. Watch how this goes. It's good, the video.
We hung out. We had a nice time, right, Fred?
Absolutely. Yeah. Terrific night. Great night of bowling, by the way.
Yeah, we went out to a bowling alley.
Yeah.
And bowled. We had a fun time.
Bowling can be fun sometimes.
Yeah.
And you don't think of it as being fun, but if you get bowling can be fun sometimes.
Yeah.
Bowling, by the way.
Watch how
we went out to a bowling alley.
Yeah.
And bowled. We had
a
fun time.
Bowling.
Yeah.
Why does he care so much? Everybody knows at this point.
Of course.
Us plebeians don't deserve to know.
No.
The poors
It's
should
just
not know he's a
weird at
bowling
this
alley.
point, man.
It's so weird. It's so creepy.
It's it's the granddaughter, the bowling alley, the wig, the hair
Cancer.
dye.
Don't
There's
tell the
so many
boys.
things that people just know is fact that he still will not just give up the goods.
They
What
went
is
to the
with that
lanes on
ugly-
William Floyd Parkway in Shirley, by the way, Monique. That's where they went out bowling.
What's with that ugly camouflage wallpaper against the brown wood grain? That is like the ugliest thing I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever noticed how ugly
Helen
that is.
Keller is a fashion designer. in that. I mean, really, he's
Jeez.
interior director,
Yeah.
decorated.
world's
by-
And you don't
Teenage.
think of it as being fun, but if you get drafted into it, it can be fun.
And it was fun. When guys get together, they're brutal. He shared well, first of all, some of the guys had to double up in the bedrooms.
Uh-huh.
So I even said to Beth, I know Gary's going to want to be with John Hine because those two are like a lovers.
They're like married couple.
Yeah, and sure enough, I said to Gary, would you mind bunking with one of the guys? And he goes, as long as it's John Hine.
Wow.
Yeah, those two.
Wait, this is actually going into something else, right? Not with the Fred thing.
I don't know. I'm not sure. You can stop it there. I just wanted to hear him say bowling alley.
Me too.
They go back to it again, and this isn't in this. The other clip I had with the bowling alley, it's somewhere else. We had it saved for another show, and they talk about how they're going into it, that they actually bowled several games and the nuances of it and stuff. But that's for another time.
Okay, let's move on. So what do we got here?
This is I love this. This is the IKEA parking lot of Hicksville, Long Island. Fred has road rage, and Steve Langford gets an anonymous tip and reports on it to Fred, and they go at it about it.
Okay, here we go. Oops, sorry.
And again, the video is great. We only we've heard the audio version of this, and
Go ahead. Also today, just asking, was Fred Norris at the IKEA in Hicksville, Long Island on Sunday about 2 p.m.?
Yes, I was.
Was there an incident in the parking lot
Yes,
with a
there
couple
was.
of other shoppers?
What?
Yes, there was.
Did Fred go thermonuclear trying to get a woman to move her car?
That's not true.
You just went
tell us.
nuclear, not thermal.
I'll tell you what happened.
Yes.
This car was sitting in front of me for at least 10 minutes. And I was looking for my wife to come out of the store. Now, she's on a cane and she has a cast on her foot.
A cane?
What'd you do?
I didn't do anything to her. She hurt her foot.
Yeah.
we know Fred's a liar too now. So I don't believe he throws in these weird, martyr complex things.
Yes.
I'm starting to not believe anything Fred says on
No, I
almost
don't
on the
believe
same
him.
level as
No.
Howard.
And I think he does have anger issues.
How did she hurt her foot?
It was the funniest thing. She was jumping into the pool, and she pulled a muscle.
Oh, my goodness.
The G-stroke muscle or some shit like that.
That's like the alarm
Anyway,
clock
so I was
thing.
parked in an area that was close to, like, the entrance, but far enough away that I could, like, get there closely. So I'm in the car with my daughter and a dog.
It's so cute that he shops at IKEA.
IKEA.
He's so cute.
He
so
looks
cute.
like an old lesbian in this. I mean,
Totally.
seriously, with the glasses.
Yeah,
The
I'm really
story with
loving
his
that
wife in the pool sounds
Snorflunkel
like-
coffee table. It's for $89. Honestly, I can't see him putting together furniture.
Aaron Taylor goes, Fred pushed her down some steps before the police shattered.
Exactly.
And we're sitting there, and I'm waiting for it to come out. This big Suburban or whatever the fuck it was sitting in front of the car. 10 minutes it was sitting there. I don't know why, but I said, okay, at some point this guy...
Because people have really big, heavy stuff that they take out of IKEA and have to put in their cars.
person has to move. My wife comes out of the store. I see her. I beep the horn. Wait about 30 seconds. Car does not move. Beep the horn again. Car doesn't move. This time I lean on the horn really hard. Car still doesn't move. And my wife is walking across the parking lot. I get out of the car.
Why?
Some bald-headed guy from across the way goes like, hey, Sinead, cut it out, man. No need to get all bent out of shape. And I go, this car's been sitting in front of me for 5 minutes. It's like, why doesn't she move? And I still don't know why they weren't moving. They finally did move after I got out of the car and said, will you please move your car?
Because you...
Look at the anger in that face.
That's a lot of anger there.
Here's a plot twist. He was wearing his Nazi uniform when this was going on.
Your wife goes into an IKEA. Granted, there's going to be some heavy shit you're probably lifting, or moderately heavy. Why are you letting her go in by herself with a fractured foot to lug shit in IKEA? Why is he not accompanying his wife?
You know why,
in the
John?
store?
To punish her for making out with all those dudes.
Because he doesn't want to go into the store. He doesn't give a shit about shopping.
Wait, this is even more bizarre. What's the one thing you do in IKEA? Walk.
Walk and lug stuff. And lift stuff.
There's no shortcuts. You literally have to walk miles.
IKEA is like the only store where they don't let you leave.
Exactly. It's like never
out.
ending.
You will have Swedish meatballs.
Yes, you will have a kill.
Yes.
you will smell that deliciousness walking out of the damn store. You will eat it. You will like
you know what?
it.
At that point, I'm usually so bitter that I haven't been able to leave for it.
Oh, it's the worst. He's the worst.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
What is this one now?
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
It's so bad though that she can walk around 5 miles in IKEA, but she can't walk down the parking lot to go get to the car.
Exactly.
This is insane. It's utterly insane.
Allison Norris's foot thing is weird too. It's like Beth on the stairs at the polo match.
Right.
That was how you run a pool. What? I didn't even. It was so bizarre. I couldn't follow it. It doesn't sound legitimate.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
So what's clip 2 here?
I think it's a lot of them yelling at each other. The third one is Langford gets him in the hallway on his way to the wrap-up show. But this is just them yelling at each other.
Do we need that?
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, this is 2. Just see what. I forget what I did with this.
Hang on. Some of these are not coming up. See?
Oh no!
An eyewitness, perhaps one of the participants in this.
I'm sure they have their own version of the
He,
story.
Fred, was making a scene. He was this
That's right.
maniac honking his horn. He was leaning on it like a road rage person. He was being so obnoxious. People are turning around looking. What is this guy doing? Pounding on the horn and holding it down.
Oh, because
Not true.
Well, why wouldn't the guy move?
You just said it was.
He
I
wasn't
don't
able
know.
to. He was trying to.
That is
unload
nonsense,
the stuff in his car.
Steve.
And his third car.
Steve,
Here's the way he described
Steve,
it.
can I?
Please.
You're making these accusations,
No, I'm
and I
telling
think
you
I've
what he
addressed.
said.
Like
Yeah,
Eric.
but so who's telling the truth here? Him or me?
Journalism is asking questions of everyone.
Steve, you're full of shit. You know I'm telling the truth.
That's not true.
Now you're just
Please.
trying to make it. You're just trying to make it.
Not
so
at
that,
all. Not at all.
Oh, stop, Steve. Stop. You're being a bullshit artist right now.
No, I'm not. I'm asking you what happened. What
I
is the
told
matter
you
with
what
that?
happened, and that's exactly what happened. So why are you taking the other person's side
I'm
and not
telling
mine?
you what he said.
And I'm telling you what happened.
Okay.
So you continue with your dialogue that is basically
Fred,
biased.
listening. I'm
against
trying to
me.
get
Fred,
your
what
answer.
you're missing is he's not taking a side. He's
Well, it
telling
sounds
you,
like he is,
He's
but-
telling you the opposing viewpoint and letting you respond.
Fair enough.
That's all.
No one
Go ahead.
has a recording of the way
No.
Fred was.
Now, Fred, you
Now, did this person also?
Yeah, why are you not believing me? Because I'm telling you that this is the way it happened.
I'm telling you, this is the truth.
This is the
I'm
truth.
telling you.
What do they say? There's 2 sides to every story and the truth.
Yes, your side, my side, and the truth.
And
Who say that they noticed that person wasn't moving their car?
Right, but this person says that it was a much shorter time
That's
period
not
than
true.
you described.
That is so not true.
Fred, you seem to believe Steve in the booger eating incident.
That one is true.
All right, moving on.
The third. So now Langford gets him in the hall. This is Is there 4 or 3?
3.
You can go to 4, I guess. It's just Langford gets him in the hall, and the guy calls Langford during the show and says he's full of shit. I'm right, and then Langford challenges him again.
Oh, I
this
love
is
it.
not. You can't do this on the radio.
How are you? I'm fine. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Thank you for.
He's so tall. I just always forget that.
He actually isn't. It's just that they're
Well, they're all tiny, right?
Talking
They're
on the air.
How tall is Fred? We discussed
6'3",
6'2", 6'3".
The guy called me back, of course, after the exchange on the air, and said, quote, and I'm just quoting.
Okay.
He said, that was bullshit. He was wild.
No, that's true. That's not true. That's not true. You want me to give you the exact scenario?
Absolutely.
I'll give you the exact scenario.
Do you want me?
No, I'll tell you what. You tell me his scenario.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll see if it matches. Or you know what? Here's the deal. You can ask anybody that usually rides with me. I rarely ever use the horn. The space.
Who would we ask?
They can take my space. Does that sound reasonable? He's not saying anything because he doesn't want to.
Well, no, I'm getting your side.
Right, but it's the truth. Doesn't move at all. Then somebody sticks their 2 cents in, which may be the guy. I have no idea if it's him or not.
That's the guy, I think.
Okay, that's what I figured. Is he in some way related to this person who's in the car?
Oh, who cares?
Not at all.
Okay, so
according to him.
According to him, so he doesn't know. So I would call into question anything that this person says.
Okay, so here's what he says. A woman waiting for his spot. Right. Says.
Okay, that's not my problem, number one. Well, not my problem.
Fred is, quote, is incessantly beeping his horn and yelling at her.
Not
through the
true.
window.
That is so not true. Never gotten involved with anybody from the audience. I've never had an incident of road rage.
Well, you're home.
I want to leave. Steve, you're just being illogical. If I knew we were having a real conversation here, I'd continue. I'm just quoting. No, you're not, Steve. You're just being silly. You're being silly.
Do you want me to continue quoting? Or?
You can quote all you want, and I have to go to the wrap-up show. If you were really interested in the truth, you would have come to me and talked to me about.
How is this even a conversation?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know why? You know how? Because Steve Langford has a huge penis.
Let's ask Tess Norris about this. It's crazy. Robinson is a witness. All Fred's got to do is, I had a moment. I flipped out a little bit. Too bad.
Yeah,
No, he can't.
Exactly.
And he has
I
to
said,
be right.
okay, you know what?
He's such
Oh,
a
gotcha.
tight a-hole. And he has to be right. And that stupid cheating. It's the thing I say about Fred's money, how he has to cheat. Why does he go second all the time so he can listen to the answers with the fake shit he does with the headphones?
So awful. Honestly,
Say,
so
I had
awful.
a bad day. I had a bad day. That's all you got to do.
Jesus.
Yeah.
But that's your comedy writer and your one of your comedy
He's so
team,
humorless,
and not an
right,
ounce
Dennis?
of comedy in that comedy person. Not an
Monique
ounce.
and I was saying in text to each other, he's intellectual blackface on this show.
Yes.
He's
Yes.
so low IQ.
Oh, absolutely.
You think he's smart.
Oh, he's as dumb as a rock.
So we want to talk a little bit about 2 people who passed in the last 2 weeks since we've been on.
Who?
Which would be Pee Wee Herman and Sinead O'Connor. And we're going to start probably with Pee Wee because...
My mistake.
because why not? And you forget how important he was to a lot of our, mid-adult years because we were old enough to get the joke. But still young enough to want to get the joke. You know what I mean?
Man
It's like,
child.
yes, totally man-child, just absolutely deliciously silly guy. And, unfortunately he fell into some disrepair and he wasn't really able to recover from it, sadly. But he was just, adorable. And I loved the Playhouse. I loved Pee-wee's Big Adventure. We constantly comment on Large Marge because there's a caller that constantly calls in that you would think
It's Large Marge, yeah.
is Large Marge. And yeah, so he was a delicious guy to remember. But in the world of Howard Stern, maybe not as much. So... Yeah, go, John.
No, I was going to say, I don't know if anyone heard this. I remember being in a halfway hungover dreamscape listening to the Stern Show and a best of. Paul Rubens did the show in 1983.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I remember hearing that in the 90s, just on a best of. Do you remember that, Dennis? Does anyone remember this?
No.
I in 83, no, I would.
But 83 is kind of before he was really the person that we knew and loved. Right. And I have a lot of clips and I have a lot of things to play, but I'm not really sure where to start.
Howard's dilemma during that was, who am I talking to, Paul Rubens or Pee Wee Herman? So the Pee Wee Herman character overtook his real personality.
Yes.
And he was literally doing like interviews and he didn't know how to go back and forth and who is Paul Rubens and that whole dilemma and stuff. So I don't know, you can, whatever you strikes your fancy in there is the whole
But I have both regular clips, I have videos, I have so much stuff.
Did I say on him?
Well, I have Phil Hartman.
Oh yeah, that's good. Do that because it's 91. Everybody loves Phil Hartman. So Phil Hartman was one of his collaborators. He's a groundlings instructor. They both taught Chaka Khan.
He was the postman on Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
And so this is Pee Wee taking his ideas and not giving him any compensation for it. Phil's pissed. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Now, were you shocked when you saw that Pee Wee Herman had been arrested in a Sarasota movie theater masturbating?
Sarasota.
Behind, I guess he was sitting behind some people or something? Or
Yeah, I mean, I was...
Were you shocked?
Well, I was shocked it didn't happen in a McDonald's or something like that.
But you're a good friend of Pee Wee's, right?
Yes.
So what do you make of this? I mean, to me, this is unusual behavior.
Am I not realizing that Howard had a live studio audience when he did with the
it's in the... Yes, it's vague in the background, but there are some people there. You can hear little claps and laughs.
But this is such a horrible interview technique. Look at that lean in.
Yeah.
Horrible, absolute lean in. Oh
the Civil Shepherd shoulders.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes, those shoulders.
Behavior. I know a lot of people have excused it, but I still have not excused this behavior. You know me. I thought Pee Wee deserved a prison sentence over this.
Yeah.
I really did. I wasn't kidding.
Yes, it's deviant behavior.
I have gone to porno theaters. I would not want someone behind me making love like that, and perhaps God knows what would happen to me to the back of my head. I don't know. I was not interested in that. So I think that really it's unusual for a big celebrity like that to do something like this. And you called him afterwards?
No, I've never discussed it with him.
Never?
No.
But you've spoken to him since the incident?
Yes.
And casually you never say, gee, Pee Wee, it's very unusual that something like this would happen.
In truth, I've spoken with him a few times since the incident, and what happened was I did the Costas show, and Costas asked...
It's so cute in today's world. Howard would never ask Pee Wee that question.
Never.
Me about Paul Rubens. And it wasn't in our pre-interview, and I spoke about him, and Paul called me, and we had been estranged for really since I started Saturday Night Live.
All right, so we can hear why in the next clip.
That's great.
Why they were
Mike White is the greatest. Howard has Schadenfreude face on. That is perfect, Mike White.
Yeah.
Oh.
Loves
so
the
right.
misfortune of others.
Okay, here we go.
You're at odds with him, aren't you?
Yeah.
Why? Because you felt you helped develop the Pee Wee Playhouse and you never received credit or money for it. Is that correct?
Well, that's part of it, yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
You were one of the creators of that.
Yes.
And Pee Wee took that show, took it to CBS, made a lot of money off it, and you felt that, wait a second, where am I in this?
Well, all of us who created the original stage show that was an HBO special. It played at the Roxy Theater in the summer of '81. We had a contract that said that we get 3% of whatever happens with this show.
Right.
And then I went on and I co-wrote Pee Wee's Big Adventure with Paul, and I worked with him on that. A
huge movie.
Yeah. And then he
I'm just going to throw out, I really miss Phil Hartman.
decided to do the TV show, and all of us were
out.
Out.
And you certainly were a creator of all of this.
Yes, I created the Captain Carl character. I wrote a lot of the scenes.
And you called him probably and said, hey, Pee Wee, what's the deal? Paul, what's the deal?
Well, in truth, I didn't.
Your agent did?
Nobody did.
Nobody did?
Nobody,
shame on you.
Nobody challenged him about it.
I see.
Shame on you, Phil.
Yeah.
You know, that show is massive. I mean, I'm all about cartoons and wrestling on Saturday morning, so I didn't watch that. But it was on for 6 years, which is huge in that Saturday morning landscape when you had less options to watch on CBS. I wonder what Pete Rubens made off that show.
Somebody look up his net worth.
I don't know. You know, I'm just wondering.
I'd be curious.
Like what a Saturday morning show.
He really did fall from grace, and then that never went into reruns either. So who even knows what happened with that?
Did it not go into reruns?
No.
No, it was canceled after the whole porn.
Yeah.
Oh, right. That's exactly the year it got
was,
canceled. Yes.
A pauperly $5 million.
Right.
That's what happens. That's what happens when you spank your monkey in a Sarasota.
Yeah, he
movie theater.
really Kramered himself. He just
worse than Kramer.
Yeah.
Heard any good jokes lately?
Yeah, at least Kramer still gets residuals from the Seinfeld.
Yeah, exactly.
So he doesn't
Yeah,
have to go out and do comedy.
He doesn't do anything. He can
doesn't
say
have to do
whatever he
anything.
wants.
But they
Great
canceled.
callback, Vito.
What'd he
That's
say?
right. That's like his Derek Friel character in Blow when he turned on George Young. That's a great callback to Blow, one of the great Depp movies.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Oh, look at Vito coming in with a
Yes.
little deppening for you.
Nice.
He knows how to butter your bread,
He got me on
doesn't he? Yeah, so he was totally erased after that happened, but he didn't have the fallback that a Kramer did. You know,
Right.
he just didn't have that. And even though Pee-wee's Big Adventure is probably one of the best movies of that time period. I mean, really, it was just
Tim Burton's first thing he gave him, you know.
Yes.
Put Burton on the map.
We had forgotten it was Tim Burton. Xavier and I were talking
Jeez.
about it the other day. I was like, holy shit, totally forgot it was Tim Burton.
You know, he was in Batman Returns, Monique. He had a small
He
role
was-
in Batman Returns.
He was the
Oh.
Penguin's
Paul
dad.
Roberts,
Right around that same time,
Oh.
that 91 year, that weird
He's the one that
year.
threw
He
the
had a
baby
few
into the water.
cameos where he was like Paul Rubens. I'm thinking of one where he had longer hair, and it was a comedy, and I can't think of the movie. It's driving me crazy.
Yes, you're right.
You-
I
you
see
can
it.
see
I
it.
see it in my mind's eye now.
So he
Damn it.
just
Somebody on
deadpan.
IMDb,
But-
quick.
It deadpanned it too.
Listen, we all love Pee Wee, but honestly, I mean, his next movie was a dud. You know, so it kind of has a little cult following, The Big Top.
Yeah.
So I think he was just kind of cut in that Yahoo serious mole. In that,
Yahoo serious.
you know what I mean? It's just like,
holy crap.
We'll always love Pee Wee, but I think that's where it kind of played itself out already. You know.
So I don't think I
Good
want to do
place.
the Paul Rubens per se. I do like some of these. I'm
Good
trying
place to
see
go
what-
next. I think this is important. Howard considers Pee Wee Herman the worst interview in the history of the show.
Okay, where's
Really?
that? Help me
It
with what it's
says,
titled.
it says Pee Wee Rubens was Howard's worst interview. On my thing, I
Okay,
sent
I got
you
it.
at 7.
I got it.
Out of all the people you've ever interviewed, who's the worst person you've ever interviewed on your show that you would never want to have back on there again?
Well, there's a couple of people who strike me, right off the top of my head who were horrible. Maybe Robin can add to the list. Warren Beatty sat like a statue.
He was a horrible.
Horrible interview, big dummy.
And oftentimes I find that
Unfortunately, Gilda Radner was a very bad interview. Bad interview, it comes to mind, Beastie Boys. I was very disappointed in them. I liked their music, and they came in, and they wanted to be outrageous.
pretend.
Well, I'll get back to Eddie Van Halen in a second. Eddie Van Halen was a big disappointment to me.
Yeah.
Someone told me who knows him that he was very nervous that day, very nervous about doing the show.
Another real disappointment was Robin Williams.
Yeah.
He wasn't here. He sat in a chair. He never said anything.
You know who was a jerk? Pee Wee Herman was a jerk.
Ah, that's because of the...
Yeah, because he wouldn't, he was difficult, and he had this whole rule about either you can interview Paul Rubens or you can interview Pee Wee. And it was just really dumb. It was like, who do you want me to be, Pee Wee or Paul Rubens? And Robin had done an interview with him back in the NBC Newsroom.
Oh, but it's okay for Borat to be Borat.
Good point, Monique. Forgot about that.
Nice.
Fun.
Great. That's a great
Well, you know what's
comparison.
even funnier? You know what's even funnier about this clip is all those people now he was sucking up to in the last 2 years.
Mhm.
He's there shitting all over them.
Oh my God,
Eddie
totally.
Van Halen,
Robin
Robin
Williams.
Williams.
Yes.
Didn't
Yeah.
Robin say that she's playing a character on the show?
Yes,
she
Robin's
did.
playing a
Right?
character.
So what's the problem then?
Will Ferrell too, Mike White. Yeah, it's
Before. And she had Paul. You had Pee Wee.
I know. I had Paul.
Oh, you did have Paul.
You took Pee Wee. We split him.
Did I take Pee Wee?
Yeah, you took Pee Wee.
No. And I would have liked to have interviewed everybody. It was just, there were too many rules, and he was uptight, and I don't know. He treats himself a little bit too importantly.
Well, now I wonder how he's treating himself.
Who knows?
Wow.
He's a little rough on himself.
Wow.
All right. Pee Wee
He
House
didn't
rated
know
1
that-
and
he didn't
2.
Eddie Van Halen was an introvert, famously.
Yeah.
So for
But
him
Howard
to be
would have known that
this
if he
good-ass
actually
interviewer
liked
and not know
Led
that,
Zeppelin.
it's
The Robin
stupid.
Williams one is really weird. We did a show on it, which I believe McDowell's ripped off as well. It's really a show I really like. We did a 2-hour thing on the Robin Williams interview that didn't exist, and Howard pretends that he interviewed him in the 90s. It was really
Right, he
1986, fixed during the news, and it was fine. It wasn't bad at all. And so he's completely conflating it and missing out and lying about there's no Robin Williams interview at all in the 90s.
No.
Time and only time he was ever on the show is 1986.
And there you go.
That's a nice Fred Norris impression, Monique. There you go.
There you go. Paul Rubens is vacation Lucianide.
Well, I mean, you can play. You want to play the Florida, the house rated.
Well, I think we need to pick and choose our spots. I got way too many clips here, and I'm not going to be able to get to all of them.
You don't have to play them all.
Pee Wee House Raid.
Sure, it's really crazy. I didn't realize it was to this degree. I forgot about this entirely.
Okay, because then I want to get to Sinead before we quit the show. Here we go.
Here's a headline from page 6, Richard Johnson's column. Porn raid at Pee Wee's house.
Oh, my.
Police have raided the Hollywood house of Paul Rubens, a.k.a. Pee Wee Herman, and carted off boxes of evidence in a kiddie porn probe.
Oh, no. Are you kidding?
I always knew that guy was disturbing.
Kiddie porn.
Well, wait, he says he's innocent. Hold on.
Well, what they cart away?
On November.
This is from November 2001.
November 16th, Rubens' home was searched after the Los Angeles Police Department was told the comic genius was into child pornography. Excuse me, I'll get right back to this story. But hey, dude, how you doing? Great. Let's get back to Pee Wee.
Yeah, I got to find out about Pee Wee now.
A spokesman for Paul Rubens, 49. He's 49. That's old.
Is he really?
Yeah.
He's 2 years older than Howard.
How can you be Pee Wee at 49?
You can't invent a character like Pee Wee.
Wait, how old? How old?
He's 2 years older than Howard.
You're not be doing something weird. You know what I mean? Think
well,
about
that whole children's show is very strange.
Yeah, this is no surprise. I'm not that shocked. Yeah, I mean, come on.
You know it's not really a children's show, right, Robin?
But a spokesman for Rubens, 49, who most recently starred in Blow and Mystery Men and hosted the NBC game show You Don't Know Jack, by the way, very successful.
Oh, boy.
Claims that Rubens is an innocent victim of blackmail. Who would be blackmailing him?
Yeah, why would you?
He wound up actually, he wasn't convicted of that, right? Like nothing happened with that.
Cleared.
No, they raided his house and he was cleared.
Do you know what he got for the porn theater thing? It's the weirdest thing. We played it on the Depening yesterday because he was in Blow. We played a tribute to him. He had to do a Say No to Drugs video. That was he made a deal with the Sarasota courts that they made him do so he did the thing, blame the alcohol, blame the drugs kind of move. He somehow got his lawyer to do a Say No to Drugs video to get out of any kind of jail time for that.
Interesting. I love what Radio Gaga says right here. They arrested the principal from Ferris Bueller's Day Off because of
Jeffrey
this raid.
Jones.
He got jail time.
Tim Burton actor, by the way.
He got off scot-free. So why is that? Why is Jeffrey Jones arrested on the backs of this raid? I'm curious what the story is there.
It was a sting.
I don't know who to believe there.
It was a sting for child porn, and obviously
It's awfully specific, though, Dennis. I don't.
Well, I mean, it's Hollywood. There's plenty of them.
No, he was like hitting up some like 15-year-old boy or something like that.
Here we go.
In the kid.
Radio Gaga says he said he bought vintage porn and it was a lot of collection, and he turned himself in when he saw there was kid porn in it. It ended up being the principal took the pictures.
Yeah, that's Jeffrey Jones, the principal in Ferris Bueller's stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I know who he is, but I'm a little confused about the sentence there. He said he bought the
weird.
vintage porn and it was a lot of collection, and he turned himself in when he saw there was kid porn in it. It ended up being that Jeffrey took the picture.
Okay. Such a wacky scenario, the whole thing.
Do you think he went, wait, this isn't Fatty Arbuckle?
All right, let's listen to the final clip on Pee Wee, and then we're going to get to Sinead real quick.
They seized material from Rubens' house, including his vintage kitsch and erotic art and photography collection, which Paul has collected for over 30 years. What's kitsch? No guy should have a kitsch. What's kitsch? Vintage kitsch and erotic art and photography. Can you imagine the mess that house is?
What that means?
It's probably filled with junk like it was on Pee Wee's Playhouse. What does the guy sit there and play with his erotic art?
It's erotic art and red bow ties. That's what's around.
You know what I mean? You know what? Okay. A story in next week's National Enquirer will report cops carted off nearly 2,000 videotapes, dozens of boxes of pornographic pictures, magazines and books, and 3 computers containing lewd material. This dude is way into porn.
He's committed.
Yeah.
He is committed to porn.
If you remember, Pee Wee got...
Some people collect baseball cards. Others
arrested in the Florida
doesn't Howard do that?
movie
Yeah, right.
theater where
I
he was,
think it's exactly what Howard has in his
masturbating.
house right now.
Yeah.
During the movie, nobody does that anymore.
You don't go to a theater and do that. You can do that at home.
He was on television at the time in Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yeah, and the most disturbing claim in the story is that among the bawdy bounties seized from Rubin's gated mansion were 20 to 30 Polaroids of apparently underage boys. Some undressed, some performing solo sex acts. Rubin's spokesman vowed,
I'm still
at the end of the day, my client will be completely vindicated.
Oh, he is. As he was.
Before we move on to Pee Wee, can we just do one thing? Ready? What? The stars at night are big and bright. In the heart of Texas.
Thank you for that. All right, we're going to move on, and let's talk about Sinead O'Connor really quick before we kill off this show. So Sinead's son passed away, suicide, last year. I guess she never got over it. It seems to be a really weird running trend with famous people who are very, very flawed, whose kids are also very, very flawed and wind up passing away, and then somehow
it's a whole vicious. She got really weird. I mean, I could, it all kind of.
Artie's in Mystery Men with Paul Rubens. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh.
What? Artie's in Mystery Men with Paul Rubens.
Oh my God.
And he's on the he's in that segment, by the way. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Dad from Alf smoked crack in a dress.
Yes. Alf. I don't smoke crack, Alf.
That's a visual.
And you know what's funny about the whole Sinead thing? She was absolutely right about the Pope. I mean, she probably at the time it was like a ridiculous thing for her to have done on Saturday Night Live. But I think there's a long-standing Irish detest for the Catholic Church, and it manifested itself with Sinead O'Connor, and actually brought light to some of the strifes that the Irish people were having at the time with the Catholic Church. And it's always it's a lifelong Protestants versus Catholics thing,
exactly.
And it wasn't going anywhere, and it wasn't our problem.
It goes to show you Laura Michaels' priorities. He lifetime banned her for doing that.
Yeah.
But then the very next week, Joe Pesci goes on and says he's going to smack her. And
right.
And
right.
that completely that's okay.
That's a great point. He did do that. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I don't remember that at all.
Lauren's a Jew too, by the way.
No, well, everybody was still talking about the Pope.
I know.
But the very next week, Joe Pesci goes on doing his monologue and says that he's gonna basically punch her.
Yeah, because no Gindaloon wants to hear that the Catholic Church is somehow bad.
But beating women, that's cool.
I bet you Sinead could take him too in a fight.
Oh, I bet you.
Oh my
right.
God, I love Pesci, but he's like 4 feet tall.
I know.
He's the tiniest of them all.
What a badass.
Yeah, so brave. All right, so here we are, Sinead. So what do we have here? And when
it's kind of crazy. So Howard's going into she's not a so Howard's insisting that she's a lesbian and they're going back and forth. She seems to have a crush on Robin and the middle one. They talk about how she hates men, and I couldn't get enough of that. But it's just so weird to hear him sexualize her. How not uncomfortable this. And this is how the old show used to be. I believe this is 2000, 23 years ago.
Here we go. Let me lower the volume.
Year 2000.
I know this is going to have to Let me just reboot it before it tells me to.
Announcing today that she is gay. I don't really believe it. I don't think she is gay. I think she's confused about it, and I'd like to talk to her about it. Here is Sinead
She's
O'Connor
a little
to come
person,
in.
huh?
I've never met her before.
Give us me album. Give us me album. I have it. Flash it.
I have it. He's got it.
She has a beautiful body. I remember. There is Sinead. Hi, Sinead.
Wow.
Nice to see you.
I thought she was a big girl.
I always thought you were taller. What do I know? Hi, how are you? Take a seat. I can't hear what you're saying because I don't have the microphone on.
Yeah. Sit down.
Now, let me tell you, Sinead, you're not gay. I read about that today.
Straighten her right out.
I'm going to straighten you right out. You're not gay.
Well,
does that mean you're going to give up men?
Well, let me say one thing. I did an interview in the context of a magazine called Curve, who, without asking me, did what I think is a wicked thing and put out a press release announcing this to everyone as if it was some great coming out.
Right, like you were putting it out to get hype for your new album or something.
Which is not the case.
Right.
Beyond that, I don't really feel that in the context of promoting
I love her
voice, something I want to talk about any more than I have in Curve, so anyone who's interested to read about it can...
But listen, I'll tell you, you don't even have to say a word.
She kind of thought I did very monotone. She never really stopped talking
Wait,
about
how-
it.
so
Keeps
militant.
going on. Yeah.
How much do you think that Howard understands of what she's saying?
Don't really know how much he understands
All
about
he
it. But all
knows
I
is
know is that
lesbian,
I'm going to
lesbian,
keep on
lesbian,
talking
lesbian.
and never stop talking about it because I don't
can't
understand what he's
can't
talking
understand that
about.
Irish broke. He
He drills her about money. It's either this clip or the next clip.
Can't really stop talking about herself, and even though he wants to start talking about her, but she can't really do that because she doesn't really understand how to stop talking about herself.
Bert, I'll tell you everything I think. I know a lot about you. I listen to your records. Half the time I don't know what you're singing about, but you make me sad, and that's why I like it. If I'm depressed, I like it.
Oh, well, this time hopefully it'll make you laugh.
No.
Yeah.
Don't change your style. Right, Robin? Robin gave me your album.
Well, I mean, the thing is, what's very important to me, and I think this is why it was wicked of Curve, because if somebody, makes himself vulnerable by being honest like that, it isn't really fair of Curve to kind of throw them to the wolves as such by releasing press releases about it, etc., especially without even asking the person.
Sinead the auctioneer.
Well, absolutely.
What I feel very important is I no longer want to go through what I've gone through for 13 years, which is other issues overshadow me as an artist. What's important about me as an artist, and I don't want...
You don't want to be known as a gay singer.
I don't want my identity to be connected with that.
Shaq O'Connor.
Shaq O'Connor.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so funny. It's so true.
Yeah.
See, this is where I wish we had a Fred here and we had this. That it's just amazing. All right, let's move on.
That's a good sound drop for Bon Jovi.
Oh God, I love it. I love it so much. All right, here we go.
Let me tell you.
People also going by.
And you are not wearing a shirt on the cover, are you not?
I'm not.
Wow. Sexy. Very sexy. You're going for the sex thing. I like that. Let me tell you about what I think is going on here with your sexuality. I'll give you my 2 cents. You are a woman who had a horrible childhood. There's no secret about that. You've talked about it. In fact, here, I'll read to you, and you tell me if I'm saying is wrong.
Do you know what, Howard? I think what would be more productive, I think, would be if we talk about the music and all.
Oh, we're going to get to the music. Don't worry, baby.
Interesting people who I've worked with on this album: Adrian Sherwood, Dave Stewart, Wyclef Jean, Shakespeare. We've done some.
Is he a black guy?
Destiny's Child. Yes, he is.
He is. A lot of black guys are taking on Shakespearean names.
Well, I think it's a very smart, damn thing to do.
I hung out with a guy named Melvin Shakespeare.
Yes.
You work with men and you don't hate men. That's the impression I'm getting. But let me tell you what happened first. You would make love to me. I know you would.
Well, to be honest, I wouldn't. I have.
Oh, I see.
She's in a long.
You would not make love to me?
No.
If I showed you that I was as sensitive as a woman and I touched you in a gentle, caring way?
No, darling, you're very lovely.
Thank you.
And
Nice of you to say.
I'm very much a feminist, but I am someone who adores men, and all my best friends are men. All my best teachers and guides in life have been men.
So don't be uptight about this. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to get rid of this stuff.
Darling, if I need help, I'll go to a shrink, okay?
Honey, I am a shrink. I'm better than a shrink. I get done with
You've
you.
been shrunk.
Well, yeah.
I completely forgot she was on the show. Does anybody remember? I don't remember this.
No, I don't remember this at all. Not at all.
I don't know how I found
What year was this?
This is 2000.
Wow, 23 years, my friends. 23 years.
Are you rich? If you would like to understand,
Are you rich?
I'll explain.
Are you rich? Are you rich? Are you rich?
I'm extremely rich.
Are you really? Are you a multimillionaire?
I am worth.
What are you worth?
More than.
How much are you worth?
How much is Sinead kind of worth? Anybody?
I forget
can
what
look
she
it up for
said.
us?
Okay.
Be honest.
When she died, like a couple bucks.
You have $4 million. So you don't need to work. You didn't need to put out this album in order
Well, I
to
do
live.
need to work because I have huge outgoings. Obviously, the more money you make, the more outgoings.
What are your costs? What are your expenses? Your children, obviously.
Partly the reason I have that money is because I'm quite pragmatic with money because I have children, so that's money I've saved.
You save money. You don't allow men to marry you and take half your money.
Absolutely. I'm not extravagant.
So even when you got married, you have been married.
Yeah.
You signed a prenuptial agreement so that your money would.
No.
So you had to give up half your money.
I gave up some money.
Oh, for crying out
But not
loud!
half my
You're
money.
kidding me.
But not half my money. No.
You give up a lot of money. Men will take your money. Now,
No,
that's why you think you're hating men.
Well, see, I never said I hate men at all. You're putting that in my mouth.
That's true. I shouldn't say that.
And in fact,
That's good. That's good enough if you want me.
Well, that's
when
it.
She
really
died. When she died, she was worth a whole $500,000.
Is that it? Crazy Rob?
Yeah, I mean, she obviously lots of bad things happened.
This is Howard in full-blown bitter divorce mode. So everything is about
money.
How
much?
Well, yeah,
Divorce.
like divorces and palimony.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep, everybody in there. hoping that they get a worse deal than he did.
Gosh.
With Allison. Gosh. This is a scant couple months after the Allison announcement, by the way. This is he's in that
she fell
mode.
into utter disrepair too. I mean, she did it to herself though.
I mean, it was
she just got this person is probably the nicest and most smiley you'll ever see her, and that's not saying much.
No,
But it's like I told Mo when she died. We were chatting about it. When she got booed on stage right after the Saturday Night Live thing, she was at a Bob Dylan bash or festival, and the only person that came to her aid was Chris Christopherson, and he told her, "Don't let the bastards get to you." The thing that pisses me off is Bob Dylan pseudo Mr. Free Speech and people's rights and shit. Just let her fucking hang herself, and he didn't do dick about it. Didn't say anything about it, and I thought that was just really dickish at the time.
Yeah,
I was set straight by my friend Brendan. He was telling me she's super talented lyricist, singer. Well, Prince wrote that song, I know, but
he did.
She was kind of like pigeonholed in the United States as just doing nothing compares to that Prince wrote. But she's super talented singer and musician and all that. She gets way more than people think. I think here.
You know what? When I first saw her and saw that song, because that's how we pretty much all got to know her, it's like, oh my God, she's the most beautiful.
Yeah.
Expressive eyes.
It's like an Irish Winona Ryder.
Beautiful song. I mean, all of those, Dolores Reardon, and like all those people just have like those beautiful, soulful
demons,
voices.
Bro.
Yeah, they all had demons.
It's really sad.
And you know what's really sad is she was told to have fun no matter what she does, but she's a fool.
Jesus, I hate you so much.
I really screwed that one up.
And I relate better romantically.
Do you have a girlfriend now?
But I'm a great friend to men.
Are you presently involved?
I actually choose at the moment not to be involved with anyone.
I thought she was being celibate, yes.
Would you like to go out with Robin over there? She'll go out with you.
I'm not available.
Don't you want a famous person, Robin?
No, at the moment I choose.
You're doing the lesbian thing with Robin.
I went into some religious thing where she's like a...
That's not why. Oh, hi. Sorry. Hi.
Oh, look at you coming on Robin now all of a sudden.
See, she lit up.
It's the new Sinead O'Connor.
I was glad to see you. It's terrible when it's just a voice.
Hey, you know I ought to introduce you to is Anne Marie. Boy, she's hot. Yeah, wait till you see her.
What? To be honest, the celibacy thing
Casey
is not
next
really
to him,
do with
Monique?
religion.
It is.
Celibacy thing is.
Watch Casey next to him.
Yeah, wait till you see her.
What?
Yeah,
Guess
There's our
who?
boy. There's our boy.
To be honest, the celibacy thing is not really to do with religion. That is the truth.
Am I making you want to be with women? Am I really forcing you?
You won't be quiet. Let me talk to the woman.
I need to be heard.
And,
I have needs.
No, she's place in life where I'd rather
Do you know that Robin
and wait till I
Sinead-
meet someone that I love.
Sinead, look at me. Look at me, baby. I got to bring you back to
You're
reality.
just jealous.
No.
She's better looking than you.
Yeah, well, everyone's better looking than me. Robin went 7 years without having any kind of sex.
That's amazing.
So she relates to you.
Any kind of sex. I saw that you...
You use a vibrator.
Well, I think
apologize.
that's why God gave us a right hand.
Do you masturbate a lot?
Yeah, absolutely.
You do?
All day, every day.
Constantly?
Constantly.
How many times a day do you masturbate?
She's doing it now.
Some days more than others.
Really?
I think that's why God gave us a right hand.
Do you use a vibrator or just your hand?
No, I don't like vibrators because there's nothing human about them. I like
see.
arms around me.
Really?
Frankly. So if I have to do it myself, obviously.
Why not use a beer bottle?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's crazy.
I like that our
Crazy
chat thinks
interview.
that Sinead was the lead singer for the Cranberries.
Oh, I know.
They keep putting zombie and anger.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's.
They're both dead. They're both Irish.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, they've had that in common now.
I think the broad's name was Dolores or something like that.
Dolores O'Riordan.
Yeah.
O'Riordan.
O'Riordan.
You have to let it linger.
I saw her in
Let it
concert
linger.
twice, and I loved her. I loved the Cranberries.
Did she just pass away, the lead singer of the Cranberries?
She last few
Was
years.
she
last year.
Suicide also.
Oh, my God.
No, she had breast cancer, bro.
Show this is.
She pretty sure she had breast cancer. Here, let me look it up.
Sure.
Let me look it up.
I got it. I got it right here. I'm putting it up right now.
She didn't let it linger.
Oh my God!
Died of drowning.
I love when I could be right and he's wrong.
No,
Because
Radio
it's so
Gaga
rare.
got it before we did.
Okay, she drowned.
46.
Suicide
Yeah.
Day.
Yeah. She was in London doing a
Zombie.
recording session, and another one drowned in the bathtub. This
God
is what
damn.
happens to these people. It's just so crazy.
Nice career too. She had everything to
So
live
wait,
for. One would think.
Could we do a Gunk in the Night drowned in the bathtub? That seems to be
if
the
you drown
way.
in the bathtub, isn't it usually induced by something else? You know, you kind of pass out.
They get hot and they need to bathe.
Well,
it's a weird
are we
thing.
talking about like Whitney, or we're talking about like someone who's like OD'd on something and they're trying to cool?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. OD'd on
So
something.
there's different scenarios where you can.
Because that's
what's her name?
work
Whitney
to-
Houston. She had too much like pain pills or
Yes.
those anti-anxiety pills, and then she had some wine and she fell asleep, and that was it. And her daughter did the same
but
thing.
what possesses you to bathe at that point? Like,
I
and
know,
why not take a
I don't get it
shower?
either.
Just
Look at
shower.
Beth will probably be found in a bathtub. Did you take?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
That's
Yes.
a day.
But this was drinking, so alcohol intoxication.
Damn, that's a lot of drinking.
That's
to
a
pass
lot
out.
of drinking.
I mean, because like everybody else, I enjoy a nice glass of wine in the bathtub. I've never passed out and drowned.
Hey, if you're thinking what I'm thinking, this wouldn't happen if you had a drinking coach.
This is true.
Absolutely.
This is true. So yeah, there's Dolores. Okay. All right, yeah, so there you go. There's our tribute to Sinead O'Connor and to Pee-wee and what happened on the Howard Show this week. So you
And
got
Mark Margolis. I saw that in the Gunk thread.
Who?
Oh my
Mark
God.
Margolis?
Mark Margolis, who's like a mafia-esque character actor. Like I'm in ground zero for Jujians and
he was,
and Long. I thought he was Italian.
He was the ultimate because he was Jewish and he played an
Italian.
Italian. He played a Hispanic guy.
Yes.
He played everybody. He was the
that's
the dude from
Saltamacchia
Yeah.
from Breaking Bad and
from Scarface. He was
and he was
Do you think as he was dying, he was just like ringing a bell furiously? So he needed some attention. Jesus Christ! All right, that is it for our show tonight. It is 10:15. Tomorrow is a school day.
And their bombs, and their guns in your hand, in your hand.
I hate men.
So, Radio Gaga, I do love that idea. I'm going to be actually in New York for the next 2 days, so I'm not really sure that we can do something Tuesday, but maybe Wednesday. Yeah, I'd
later
love
in
to
the
do
week.
something for Robin's birthday. Yes, because
Robin.
Howard.
How old is she going to be?
Thank you,
in
Radio
New York?
Gaga, for volunteering us
Old.
to do a two-show.
73?
83, 85? What's
it's 73.
How old is Robin Quivers right now? Let's see.
72.
85?
71 or
Yeah,
2,
she'll be
72.
73, right?
She's 70. She's
Oh,
70.
she's only
She'll be
70?
71.
71.
No.
Born 1952. I'm looking right at Wikipedia.
Wow. She seems so much older.
Proving black main fat crack at this point.
Yeah, it might be time to crack. Might be time to
She
crack.
has cracked.
All right, my friends. So that's it for tonight. Thank you so much for
Wait,
participating.
so that's one in dog years, right? 70?
Yes, thank you so much for participating and being part of us tonight. And we'd like to thank you for being here with us, as you always are. We really do appreciate you.
I hate
well,
men.
sometimes you guys are absolute. you know,
I always
jerks,
appreciate
but-
them.
Yeah, yeah, and they love when Xavier does that, especially. That's really.
Oh,
Oh, I'm
absolutely.
sure we'll
That's
hear
really kinda
one or two comments about that.
key to them. All right, love you guys. See you later. Hey guys, thanks for hanging with us tonight. Please join us for any further discussion at RadioGunk.com in the forum section. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at RadioGunk. And don't forget to like this and subscribe to us and hit that little bell so you know when we're doing a new show. Thanks.